In the quiet corners of history, there are stories that defy explanation, mysteries that have haunted mankind for centuries. Across ancient ruins, beneath forgotten seas, and within the depths of lost cities, secrets lie dormant, waiting to be uncovered. But what if these secrets are not meant to be found? What if the answers we seek are not just hidden but deliberately concealed? Imagine a world where entire civilizations vanished without a trace, leaving behind only cryptic clues that seem more like warnings than answers. What could have caused the sudden disappearance of the mighty 10th Roman legion in the desolate deserts of China?
Or what lies beneath the icy expanse of Antarctica's frozen wasteland, where enigmatic pyramids stand silent and forgotten?
What about the inexplicable fate of ancient kings? Their tombs unopened, their legacies buried under layers of time, like the tomb of the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar, still sealed, still unexplored.
These are not just stories.
They are unsolved riddles that stretch the boundaries of human knowledge. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the heart of history's most chilling enigmas. In the heart of Egypt, beneath the weight of centuries and the shifting sands of time, a discovery was made that would haunt archaeologists and historians alike for decades. In a hidden tomb far from the bustling cities of Cairo or the grand ruins of Luxor, there lay an enigmatic, mummified body, a priestess of Isis. But it wasn't just the age of the body that sparked intrigue. It was the air of mystery surrounding its burial and the powerful symbolism attached to the figure. A woman of faith, perhaps, but also a woman whose death, just as her life, was shrouded in the unknown. The tomb, uncovered in the mid-10th century in a secluded part of the Nile Valley, was nothing like the grandiose burial sites of the pharaohs. It was smaller, humbler even, yet the artifacts within it were nothing short of remarkable. Precious amulets, intricately carved statues of Isis, and ceremonial objects that reflected the goddess's multifaceted nature. These were clues to the identity of the woman buried there. But it was the mummy itself, preserved in exquisite detail, that commanded the most attention. The woman, believed to have lived during Egypt's New Kingdom period, lay wrapped in layers of linen, her body meticulously embalmed according to the highest standards of the time. Her features, though slightly discolored by the passage of millennia, were still discernible. She had once been a figure of power. Her priestess robes adorned with gold, her hands folded as if still in prayer. But what makes her so enigmatic is not just her status or the meticulousness of her preservation. It's the circumstances surrounding her burial, the rituals she was part of, and the unanswered questions about her role in the complex religious landscape of ancient Egypt. The priestess of Isis was not merely a religious figure. She was an essential part of a powerful system of worship that reached across the ancient world. Isis, the goddess of magic, motherhood, and death, was venerated in temples from Egypt to Rome, and her cult offered an alluring blend of mysticism and healing. The priestesses who served her were entrusted with sacred knowledge, participating in esoteric rituals and holding significant influence within their communities. To be chosen as a high priestess was to be both revered and feared. But who was this particular priestess? The tomb in which her body was discovered offered few answers. There was no inscription bearing her name, no hieroglyphs that could identify her family or lineage. There were no grand monuments or statues honoring her deeds, as there were for other figures of the time. Some scholars have speculated that she may have been a woman of high rank, perhaps a royal or noble figure who had been chosen to serve Isis for reasons known only to the highest echelons of society. But there is no evidence to suggest this, and as with many ancient Egyptian tombs, the mysteries deepen the more we look. One of the most puzzling aspects of the discovery is the way the priestess was laid to rest. The burial chamber, though richly adorned with items symbolizing Isis and the afterlife, lacked the elaborate funeral pyres or elaborate tomb complexes usually associated with the highest-ranking members of Egyptian society. The simplicity of the burial raises questions. Was she a woman of extraordinary power, laid to rest in a humble tomb as a sign of her devotion to Isis? Or was she a more mysterious figure? Someone who, for reasons lost to time, was kept hidden from the records, her identity erased. The absence of identifying markers is not the only oddity surrounding the priestess's tomb. The embalming techniques used were unusually complex, hinting at an advanced understanding of preservation. The priests who embalmed her body were undoubtedly skilled, but it's the materials they used that stand out. The linens used for wrapping her body were of an unusual quality, finer than those typically used in most tombs from the same period, and the resin, which was used to preserve her skin and hair, bore a strikingly different composition from other embalming materials of the time. What does this suggest? Was this priestess afforded special treatment because of her importance? Or were these substances chosen for a ritualistic purpose that we have yet to fully understand? And then there is the matter of her jewelry. Glistening amulets, golden pendants, and intricate rings inscribed with symbols of Isis and Anubis, the god of the underworld. The gold, though tarnished by time, still held an unmistakable gleam, its weight a reminder of the luxury that once surrounded this woman. Yet, despite the opulence of these items, none of them bear any personal inscriptions or indications of their ownership. Were these offerings to the gods? Or was the jewelry meant to protect her in the afterlife? Could they have been tools and rituals that were never meant for the eyes of outsiders? Perhaps most intriguing of all are the unexamined possibilities surrounding her connection to Isis herself. The goddess was in many ways a mirror of the priestesses who served her, mysterious, powerful, and capable of wielding great magic. Could this particular priestess have had access to knowledge and powers that were lost after her death? Some have speculated that she was a vessel for divine influence, a woman chosen to channel the very essence of Isis. Others suggest that she may have been part of a more esoteric sect, one that practiced hidden rites that were eventually suppressed or forgotten. The priestess's role within the cult of Isis is another subject of debate. The goddess herself was associated with powerful rituals of healing and resurrection, and the belief in her ability to guide souls through the afterlife was central to her worship. Could this priestess have been part of secretive rites designed to help individuals transition into the afterlife, or perhaps even to communicate with the divine? The absence of records makes it nearly impossible to know for sure. As we look at the mystery of the priestess of Isis, the questions only multiply. Who was she? Why was she buried in such a secretive, unmarked tomb? What did her rituals and the artifacts left behind reveal about the beliefs and practices of ancient Egypt? These are questions that for now remain unanswered. The priestess, like so many figures of the ancient world, remains an enigma, a shadow of history waiting to be understood. And so the question lingers. What other secrets lie hidden in the tombs of Egypt, waiting for the right moment to be revealed? As we leave behind the world of ancient Egypt, where secrets lie buried in the sands, we now turn our gaze to a distant, desolate landscape, one that has captivated the imaginations of explorers and historians alike for centuries. The Gobi Desert, a vast expanse of unforgiving terrain, stretches across northern China and southern Mongolia, where the air is thin, the temperature extremes are harsh, and life seems barely able to survive. Yet, beneath its arid surface, some believe there is something far more extraordinary. An ancient city lost to time, waiting to be uncovered. This is the legend of the lost city of the Dragon's Lair. The Gobi Desert is known for its striking contrasts. From its towering sand dunes to its rocky plateaus, the landscape appears almost untouched by human hand. And yet, deep within this wilderness, there are stories of a forgotten civilization, one that may have thrived for centuries before disappearing without a trace. The legend speaks of a city built near the legendary dragon's lair, a place shrouded in myth and mystery where treasure and ancient knowledge were said to be hidden for eternity. The first whispers of this lost city began in the early 20th century when explorers ventured into the vastness of the Gobi in search of hidden treasures. During an expedition in 1912, an unusual discovery was made, a series of ancient ruins partially buried by the shifting sands. What struck the explorers was the craftsmanship of the structures, unlike anything seen before in this region. Intricate carvings adorned stone walls depicting dragons and other mythical creatures, and the layout of the ruins suggested a once thriving city far older than any known civilizations in the area. For years, these ruins were dismissed as little more than a curiosity, with scholars pointing to the fact that the Gobi Desert had always been a harsh, inhospitable environment. How could a great civilization have once flourished here amidst such isolation? But the more that was uncovered, the more questions began to arise. Over the decades, additional expeditions to the Gobi revealed more tantalizing clues. Researchers uncovered fragments of ancient pottery, bronze tools, and a scattering of inscriptions that suggested an advanced culture. With a deep knowledge of astronomy, agriculture, and metallurgy. What was most perplexing was the repeated presence of the dragon motif in the artifacts. In many ancient cultures, the dragon was a symbol of power, protection, and wisdom. Yet in the Gobi Desert, it seemed to take on an almost mystical significance. Could this be a reflection of the culture's reverence for dragons, or did these depictions serve a deeper symbolic purpose? Some theorists began to speculate that the city was far older than anything the mainstream historical timeline could account for, possibly predating even the rise of the great Chinese dynasties. Could it have been a city of great power, long since abandoned or destroyed in some catastrophic event? The possibility that this ancient city was linked to mythical dragons, not as literal creatures, but as powerful symbols or even deities, only deepened the intrigue. As we move beyond traditional archaeology, the mysteries surrounding the lost city of the dragon's lair grow more fantastical. Some fringe theories suggest that the city was not merely a physical settlement, but a place of profound spiritual significance, perhaps a sanctuary for a cult or civilization that practiced esoteric rites tied to celestial bodies or the supernatural. According to one theory, the city was deliberately hidden from the outside world, its inhabitants having made a pact to disappear from history rather than face the downfall of their society. There is a school of thought that links this mysterious city with the ancient tales of the Xianjiang, an ancient Chinese civilization that is said to have existed for thousands of years before the rise of the dynasties. Could the city in the Gobi have been one of the last remnants of this long-lost culture? Were the inhabitants of the dragon's lair part of a greater network of civilizations spread across Central Asia whose knowledge was never meant to be discovered? Perhaps the most tantalizing mystery surrounding the lost city of the dragon's lair is the possibility that it contains hidden treasures, artifacts that hold secrets of the ancient world. Secrets that could rewrite our understanding of history. The ruins discovered so far, though intriguing, have yielded only a small fraction of what might be buried beneath the sands. The size of the city remains uncertain. Some believe it could stretch over a vast area, hidden from the world by the relentless forces of nature. The desert is a place of constant transformation. Sandstorms that can erase the most painstaking efforts to uncover the past, and shifting dunes that may conceal whole sections of ancient cities. In recent years, the use of satellite imaging and other advanced technologies has rekindled hope that the city might finally be revealed in its entirety. Scientists and archaeologists have identified potential sites beneath the sand, places that, if excavated, could hold the key to understanding the true nature of this lost civilization. Some suggest that the city's underground structures may still lie intact, hidden from view, but preserved by the desert's extreme conditions. But even as these tools of modern science offer new possibilities, there are those who caution against drawing conclusions too quickly. The Gobi Desert is a place of extremes. Temperatures can plummet to 40 or F in the winter, while scorching heat can soar above 100 or F in the summer. Such conditions are not just inhospitable to life, they are also a powerful force against the preservation of history. It is possible that what remains of the lost city of the Dragon's Lair may be too deteriorated to ever reveal its full story. For now, the city remains an enigma, a shadow in the sands, its secrets buried beneath layers of time. Was it a true city, once home to an advanced civilization, or merely a legend? What of the dragons? Are they merely symbols? Or is there more to their presence in the city's artifacts? Could the hidden knowledge of this civilization, lost to history, still be waiting to be uncovered? And if so, what impact might it have on our understanding of the past? The story of the lost city of the Dragon's Lair is far from over. The mysteries of the Gobi Desert, like those of the Priestess of Isis and countless other unsolved enigmas, continue to haunt us, lingering just beyond our reach. So, as the sands of time shift and the secrets of the past beckon, one must ask, what might still be waiting to be discovered beneath the dry, whispering winds of the Gobi? As we leave behind the Gobi Desert with its myths of lost cities and hidden dragons, we now turn to a different kind of mystery, one that has lingered in the shadows of ancient Mesopotamia for over 2 millennia. It is the mystery of a king whose legacy was overshadowed by the rise of the Persian Empire, and a crypt that remains unopened, waiting to tell its secrets to those who dare to uncover them. This is the story of Nabonidus, the last king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and the enigmatic crypt that has yet to reveal its contents. The city of Babylon, once a sprawling metropolis that stood as the jewel of ancient Mesopotamia, is a place where the past is still very much alive in the ruins that scatter the landscape. The grandeur of its walls, its temples, and its iconic Ishtar Gate speak of a civilization at the height of its power. Yet in the shadow of these marvels, one of Babylon's most intriguing figures, King Nabonidus, has remained largely forgotten by history. His reign was short, his influence eclipsed by the rise of his successor, Cyrus the Great of Persia. But it is Nabonidus's tomb, still undisturbed beneath the sands of time, that keeps his memory lingering at the edges of our collective curiosity. Nabonidus ruled Babylon from 556 BCE to 539 BCE, a period that marked the final years of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. His reign was not marked by military conquests or monumental victories, but by a series of religious and political reforms that set him apart from previous rulers. Nabonidus was a king who believed in the divine, yet he did not worship Babylon's traditional god Marduk in the way his predecessors had. Instead, he devoted much of his life to Sin, the moon god, even going so far as to leave Babylon and spend years in Tamar, modern-day Saudi Arabia, where he established a new sanctuary for Sin. This act of religious reform was unprecedented and not entirely popular. His abandonment of Babylon, even if temporary, alienated many of his subjects, and his unusual religious practices caused unrest among the priesthood. Despite these controversial actions, Nabonidus' legacy was forever altered by the arrival of Cyrus the Great. In 539 BC, after a protracted siege, Cyrus took Babylon, and Nabonidus was captured. Some accounts suggest that he was treated with respect by the Persians, though others indicate that he was humiliated and exiled. His death remains a subject of debate. Some sources say he died in exile, others suggest he was executed, but there is no definitive record of how or where his life ended. However, one thing is clear: his crypt, like his reign, was left hidden. The unopened crypt of Nabonidus has captivated historians and archaeologists for generations. Despite the extensive excavation of Babylon and the surrounding areas, Nabonidus' final resting place remains a mystery.
No trace of his tomb has been found.
Could it be buried deep beneath the ruins of Babylon, hidden within a secret chamber that has yet to be uncovered? Or did it lie elsewhere, perhaps outside the city in a remote location that has since been forgotten? The absence of a tomb is itself strange. In ancient Mesopotamian tradition, the burial of a king was an event of great significance. Tombs were not only places of rest, but also symbols of a king's power and connection to the gods. The tombs of earlier Babylonian kings, such as Nebuchadnezzar II, were adorned with lavish treasures and intricate artwork, and were often located within the city's sacred boundaries. Nabonidus, however, appears to have been denied such a burial, or at least one that has survived the ravages of time. Theories abound about why this might be the case. Some scholars suggest that Nabonidus' unusual religious practices might have influenced the manner of his burial. Did his estrangement from the Babylonian priesthood result in a refusal to honor him with the grand burial expected of a king? Or was his crypt deliberately hidden, perhaps to prevent it from falling into the hands of invaders like Cyrus or even Laterilers of Babylon? Could Nabonidus have been buried in secret, his resting place intentionally erased from history? Others have speculated that Nabonidus' crypt might have been designed to be inconspicuous, perhaps to reflect his own spiritual journey. His devotion to Sin, a god not traditionally worshipped in Babylon, might suggest that his final resting place was intended to be hidden, like the god he served. Could Nabonidus have chosen to be buried in an isolated, unremarkable location away from the grand mausoleums of his predecessors, to avoid the trappings of royal glory? Or perhaps the location of his tomb was intentionally lost, an attempt to erase his legacy entirely after the Persian conquest. Adding to the intrigue are the cuneiform inscriptions that have been discovered in Babylon. These tablets, some of which were authored by Nabonidus himself, describe his religious reforms and his time in Tama, but none of these inscriptions offer any clues as to the location of his tomb. In fact, some inscriptions even seem to suggest that Nabonidus had plans to restore the temple of Marduk and return to Babylon after his self-imposed exile. Yet nothing in the historical record clearly addresses what happened after his capture by the Persians. Did Nabonidus die in captivity? Or was his final resting place so carefully concealed that no one ever knew where he had been laid to rest?
Another layer of mystery
is added by the historical accounts of Nabonidus' reign. Ancient historians, including Herodotus and Berossus, paint conflicting pictures of the king. Some describe him as a religious zealot obsessed with the god Sin, while others suggest he was a victim of political upheaval. What if the mystery of his tomb is a reflection of his rule? A king whose unconventional actions led to his legacy being intentionally obscured by those who came after him. As of today, no excavation has yielded any definitive evidence of Nabonidus' final resting place. The crypt, as elusive as the man himself, remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of ancient history. Was his burial place simply lost to time? Or was it hidden for reasons still unknown? Could it be that the final resting place of Nabonidus is still out there somewhere in the ruins of Babylon, buried beneath the shifting sands, or hidden deep within the remains of the ancient city? Or did the king's exile, his controversial reign, and the fall of his empire result in a deliberate effort to erase him from history altogether? The mystery of the unopened crypt of Nabonidus persists, an enigma that continues to beckon. What will it take to uncover the tomb of the last king of Babylon? And what secrets, if any, lie within that crypt, waiting for the day when they are finally brought into the light? As we leave behind the shadows of the Templar tunnels beneath the Temple Mount, we now shift our focus to one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, the Colosseum in Rome. This monumental amphitheater, with its grand arches and centuries of history, has witnessed countless spectacles from gladiatorial combat to public executions. Yet beneath its storied exterior, some believe there is another secret, one that has remained hidden for centuries. An underground library buried deep within the structure containing knowledge that has been lost to time. The Colosseum, known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, stands as a symbol of the might and grandeur of ancient Rome, completed in AD CE under the reign of Emperor Titus. It was once the largest amphitheatre in the Roman world, capable of seating up to 50,000 spectators. For centuries, it served as a venue for brutal gladiatorial games, animal hunts, and mock naval battles. Its massive stone walls, now weathered by time and the elements, still echo with the sounds of the past. A place where emperors, citizens, and slaves alike gathered to witness the might of Rome on full display. But beneath the Colosseum's famed arena, within the labyrinth of tunnels and chambers that lie hidden from the public eye, a different story unfolds. Some believe that there, beneath the blood-soaked sands, lies a library. Not a typical collection of scrolls or manuscripts, but a repository of ancient knowledge, carefully guarded and preserved for generations. What might such a library contain, and why has it remained hidden for so long? The idea of a library beneath the Colosseum is not as far-fetched as it might initially seem. In ancient Rome, libraries were not just places for the public to gather and read. They were repositories of power, places where knowledge was stored, protected, and often kept secret. It is well known that emperors and high-ranking officials would have had access to private collections of scrolls and texts, many of which were of immense cultural, political, and even mystical importance. Could it be that the Colosseum, a symbol of Rome's power and prestige, also housed a library of similarly immense significance? Historians and archaeologists have long speculated about the possible existence of hidden chambers beneath the Colosseum. The structure itself is an engineering marvel with complex networks of underground passages, rooms and tunnels used to house gladiators, animals, and machinery for the spectacles above. These subterranean areas, known as the hypogee, are partially open to the public today, but much of the Colosseum's underground space remains unexplored. What if some of these unexplored rooms were used to store something far more valuable than mere tools or cages for wild animals? The most compelling theory about the hidden library beneath the Colosseum comes from the idea that the library was created by Emperor Vespasian or his successor Titus to store knowledge that could elevate the prestige of the Roman Empire. Some even suggest that the library could have been a special collection dedicated to the mysteries of Rome's greatest minds, including philosophers, scholars, and even the early Christian leaders who were persecuted by the empire. One theory posits that the library may have been designed to hold secret texts, documents related to the mystical and esoteric traditions that were gaining traction within the Roman elite. During this period, Rome was a melting pot of diverse cultures, philosophies, and religions, and it is believed that some members of the upper echelons of Roman society were deeply interested in occult knowledge, astrology, alchemy, and other mystical disciplines. What if the library contained scrolls that documented these forbidden practices preserved in the shadow of the amphitheatre to protect them from outside influence? The most tantalizing possibility is that the library may have held early Christian texts, documents that were deemed heretical by the Roman authorities. During the time of the Colosseum's construction, Christians were persecuted for their refusal to worship Roman gods and their radical beliefs. Could the library have been used as a safe house for forbidden religious texts, hidden away from the eyes of those who would seek to destroy them? There are even some who speculate that the works of the early Christian writers, perhaps the original Gospels or letters of the Apostles, could have been stored beneath the Colosseum. Such a discovery would have immense implications for both religious and historical scholarship. Could it be that the early Christian church, in its quest to preserve its sacred teachings, used the Colosseum as a sanctuary, a place where its most important writings were hidden from the world for centuries? But, as with many ancient mysteries, the truth is elusive. Despite several archaeological investigations beneath the Colosseum, no concrete evidence of a hidden library has ever been found. The hypogee tunnels and chambers have been excavated over the years, revealing remnants of the gladiatorial combatants, the beasts they fought, and the mechanisms used to raise and lower them into the arena. Yet, there has been no mention of any hidden texts or libraries, leaving the mystery to persist in the realms of speculation. Some researchers point to the lack of historical documentation regarding such a library as evidence that it may never have existed. The Colosseum was, after all, primarily a venue for public spectacles, not a place for intellectual pursuit. The Romans had other more prominent libraries, such as the Library of Alexandria, to house their texts. Why would the Colosseum, a place of bloodshed and violence, be chosen as the location for a repository of sacred or forbidden knowledge? Yet the absence of proof is not necessarily proof of absence. The Colosseum was a symbol of imperial power, and the idea that the emperors of Rome would have hidden such a library beneath its floors is not entirely implausible. Some argue that the library could have been deliberately concealed, its existence hidden for political reasons or to safeguard its contents from those who might wish to exploit them. Moreover, there is the possibility that the library's contents were moved or destroyed after the fall of the Roman Empire. Many ancient libraries were looted, burned, or buried during the tumultuous centuries that followed the empire's collapse. Could it be that the knowledge contained in the Colosseum's hidden library was lost to the ravages of time and war? The enigma of the hidden library beneath the Colosseum is a mystery that continues to captivate the imagination. While no definitive evidence has been found to confirm its existence, the tantalizing possibility remains. Could there be a collection of ancient texts, documents that hold the key to understanding lost Roman secrets, early Christianity, or mystical knowledge waiting to be uncovered beneath the arena floor? Perhaps one day, when the dust settles and the world turns its attention to the Colosseum once more, archaeologists may find the answers to these questions. Until then, the mystery remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder what knowledge might still lie hidden beneath the ancient stones of Rome's greatest monument. As we step away from the stone walls of ancient Rome, we now turn our focus to the jungles of Mesoamerica, where another enigma awaits, one that has remained veiled in mystery for centuries. Deep in the dense forests of southern Mexico lies the ancient city of Palenque, a once thriving Mayan metropolis.
Long abandoned, its secrets buried beneath the dense foliage.
Among its ruins is the Temple of the Inscriptions, a structure whose mystery has haunted archaeologists for decades. It is here, in this sacred temple, that the lost treasure of the Maya king Pal is believed to lie. Hidden beneath layers of stone and history waiting to be uncovered. Palenque is not just another Mayan city. It is a place of extraordinary artistry and architectural achievement. At its peak, the city was a hub of culture and power, home to temples, palaces, and intricate hieroglyphic inscriptions that tell the story of the Maya civilization's rulers. Among these rulers, King Pal the Great stands out not only for his reign from 615 to 683 CE, but also for his elaborate tomb, which was discovered in 1952 within the Temple of the Inscriptions. The tomb of Pal, found beneath the temple's stone floors, is a marvel of Mayan engineering. It was sealed with a large stone lid, intricately carved with a depiction of the king in a moment of symbolic rebirth. The discovery of his tomb was groundbreaking as it revealed a wealth of treasures, including jade jewelry, ceramic vessels, and ornaments. But perhaps the most fascinating part of Pal's tomb was the sheer scale of the treasure that seemed to lie just out of reach. Some believe that there may be even more hidden beneath the temple, waiting to be uncovered. Treasures that are far more than mere riches. The treasure of King Paul is thought to have been carefully hidden, not just as an offering for the afterlife, but as a symbol of his power. intended to secure his place in the pantheon of Maya rulers for eternity. The intricacy of the burial suggests that Pal's treasures were meant to protect him in the afterlife, perhaps even ensuring the prosperity of the kingdom he left behind. But what if there was more to this treasure? Could there be hidden secrets in Pakal's tomb that have eluded discovery for over half a century? The idea of additional treasure buried beneath the temple is not just speculation. It is rooted in the complex symbolism that the Maya attached to their burial practices. In Mayan culture, death was not seen as an end, but as a transition. The tombs of the Maya were designed to represent a doorway to the afterlife and often included symbolic representations of the king's divine role as well as offerings meant to ensure his continued power. This connection between the living and the dead is woven throughout Pal's tomb, where many of the artifacts are not merely decorative, but are imbued with spiritual significance. Yet despite the wealth of artifacts already discovered in the Temple of the Inscriptions, some archaeologists believe that a greater treasure remains hidden, perhaps concealed in secret chambers yet to be unearthed. The sheer scale of Pal's burial suggests that he was not only a king, but a figure of enormous cosmic importance. Could it be that his tomb contains hidden knowledge, perhaps writings or relics of a lost Mayan tradition that could offer new insights into the Maya worldview? As we delve deeper into the mystery, one must consider the possibility that Pakal's tomb was never fully uncovered, or that certain chambers were deliberately sealed. The burial chamber itself, as elaborate as it is, may hold further clues. Some speculate that hidden inscriptions or symbolic objects may lie beneath the temple, waiting for modern archaeologists to decipher their meaning. If these chambers do exist, what could they contain? Could they hold ancient manuscripts, lost knowledge of the Maya's advanced understanding of astronomy, mathematics, or even spiritual beliefs? There is also the theory that the treasure of King Pakal could extend beyond material riches. The Maya were a people deeply connected to the cosmos, and they believed that their kings were divine intermediaries between the gods and the people. Could it be that Pal's treasure holds sacred knowledge, perhaps even cosmological secrets hidden in plain sight? Some have suggested that the tomb's carvings, which feature Pal in what appears to be a moment of ascension, could represent a deeper metaphysical concept. Was Pal's burial intended to be a portal for his spirit to ascend to the heavens, carrying with it the keys to hidden knowledge that could alter the course of human understanding? One of the most intriguing aspects of the mystery surrounding Pal's treasure is the idea that it may be connected to the wider Mayan civilization's decline. By the time of Pal's death, the Maya were already experiencing significant social, political, and environmental challenges. Could Pal's treasure have been a final effort to secure the power of his dynasty and the future of his people? Or did it represent a desperate attempt to preserve the sacred knowledge of the Maya for future generations? In this sense, Pal's tomb could be seen as a safeguard, not just for his own soul, but for the legacy of the Maya civilization itself. But the mystery does not end with the treasure itself. The Temple of the Inscriptions, built to honor Pal, is also home to a series of intricate inscriptions that have yet to be fully deciphered. These glyphs carved into the stone walls of the temple may contain the key to unlocking the final secrets of the tomb. Some scholars believe that the inscriptions tell a story, one that goes beyond Pal's life and into the realm of the divine, hinting at knowledge that transcends time and space. Could it be that the inscriptions hold the secret to the hidden treasure beneath the temple? Or could they point to something more profound? An understanding of the Maya's spiritual practices, their connection to the stars, or even their knowledge of forces beyond our comprehension. The glyphs on Pal's tomb lid, which depict the king in a position of rebirth, could be seen as symbolic of a greater cosmic journey, a journey that may still hold the keys to understanding not just Pal's reign, but the entire Maya civilization. Yet, despite decades of excavation, these secrets remain elusive. Could it be that the treasure in its most complete form is still hidden beneath the soil of Palenque, waiting for a moment of discovery that is yet to come? Or have centuries of exploration already uncovered the full extent of Pal's legacy, leaving no room for more? As we leave the jungles of Palienki behind, the mystery of King Pal's treasure remains unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers. What knowledge might still be hidden within the ancient walls of his tomb? And if there are secrets yet to be discovered, will they reveal a deeper understanding of the Maya, their cosmos, and their final forgotten treasure? The answers are out there beneath the roots of the jungle, waiting to be uncovered. As we leave behind the treasures of the Maya and the enigmatic tomb of King Pal, we now turn to the ancient world's great empires and the rulers whose fates remain shrouded in mystery, as such ruler whose sudden disappearance left the Persian Empire in turmoil and the annals of history incomplete is King Darius III, the last king of the Achaemenid Persian Empire. His reign was marked by epic battles, political intrigue, and the relentless expansion of the Macedonian forces led by Alexander the Great. Yet despite the immense historical significance of his downfall, the exact fate of Darius III remains a mystery to this day. Darius III ascended to the throne in 336 BCE during a tumultuous period for Persia. The Achaemenid Empire, which had once been the dominant force in the ancient world, was now struggling to hold on to its vast territories. Internal strife, political instability, and weakening central control had already begun to erode the empire's strength. But it was Darius's encounter with the relentless force of Alexander the Great that would ultimately seal his fate and lead to his disappearance, an event that has baffled historians for centuries. The most well-known chapter of Darius's reign is his ill-fated conflict with Alexander, who was steadily marching through Asia Minor, Syria, and Egypt, determined to bring the Persian Empire to its knees. The two met in a series of pivotal battles, the most significant being the Battle of Issus in 333 BC, where Darius's army, despite being numerically superior, was decisively defeated by Alexander's forces. The defeat at Issus, followed by another crushing loss at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE, marked the end of Darius's hope of reclaiming his empire. After these defeats, Darius fled, leaving behind his family and his empire in the hands of his enemies. But it is what happened after his retreat that has captured the imagination of historians and scholars alike. What happened to Darius III after he fled the battlefield? This is the central question that has lingered in the minds of many for over 2,000 years. According to some ancient accounts, Darius managed to escape to Eberdina, the ancient capital of Persia where he sought refuge. However, what followed is a tale of betrayal, power struggles, and an eventual disappearance that remains unresolved. Darius's escape did not go unnoticed. His retreat was seen by many as a sign of weakness, and it was only a matter of time before Persian nobility began to see the collapse of the empire as an opportunity for their own advancement. In the absence of a strong leader, the once glorious Achaemenid Empire was divided. As Alexander's forces continued to advance, Darius's power further eroded. His own generals and advisors, many of whom were once loyal, began to turn against him. The most famous account of Darius's eventual fate comes from Plutarch, the ancient historian. According to Plutarch, Darius was ultimately betrayed by one of his own satraps, Bessus, the satrap of Bactria. After Darius had been deposed and was attempting to flee eastward, Bessus and his followers captured him, and in a cruel twist of fate, they left him to die, allegedly assassinated by his own men. But even the circumstances of his death remain shrouded in ambiguity. Some accounts suggest that Darius was killed by his captors, while others claim that he died of his wounds, whether inflicted by his own men or by the forces of Alexander. The varying versions of his death create a mosaic of conflicting narratives, each contributing to the overarching enigma of his final days. Yet despite these accounts, there is no definitive proof of Darius's death. Could it be that Darius survived his captivity and disappeared into obscurity, perhaps even living in exile for years after the fall of his empire? Some theories suggest that after being captured and seemingly abandoned, Darius could have escaped once again, seeking refuge in the remote corners of the Persian Empire, where he could have lived out the remainder of his life in anonymity. But this remains pure speculation, as no conclusive evidence has ever surfaced to confirm this idea. The puzzle of Darius's final moments is compounded by the question of whether his death was truly a result of betrayal or whether he was simply abandoned in the chaos of war. If he was indeed betrayed by Bessus and his followers, what motivated this treachery? Was it merely the ambition of Bessus to claim the throne? Or was there a deeper political calculation at play? Did those closest to Darius view him as too weak to lead Persia into a new era? If Darius had lived, could he have made a successful comeback? Or was his empire too fractured to ever be restored? While the mainstream historical narrative points to the betrayal by Bessus and his subsequent death, there are alternative theories that suggest a more mysterious outcome. Could Darius have been taken into hiding by loyalists who, in the wake of his failure, sought to preserve his life and the remnants of the Persian royal bloodline? Some suggest that the hidden fate of Darius III could be tied to the idea that the former king was deliberately removed from the historical record to prevent the restoration of the augmented dynasty. If this were the case, could Darius's disappearance have been orchestrated not just by Bessus, but by a network of conspirators working to shape Persia's future in their own image? Adding to the mystery is the fact that Bessus, the man who betrayed Darius, met a grisly end at the hands of Alexander's army. After Darius's death, Bessus was captured, brought before Alexander, and executed in a gruesome public display. Was this a symbolic act of justice, or did it signify the final erasure of Darius's legacy from the historical record? The truth remains elusive. As is often the case with ancient figures and events, the answers are fragmented, buried beneath layers of history and myth. The fate of King Darius III continues to haunt us. Not only because he was the last king of the mighty Achaemenid Empire, but because his final days seem to slip through our fingers, elusive and incomplete. Did he die in the cruel hands of his captors? Or did he escape into the wilderness forgotten by history? What we do know is that the death of Darius marked the end of an era, the end of the Persian Empire, and the rise of Alexander the Great as the uncontested ruler of much of the known world. As we reflect on the mystery of Darius III, we are left to wonder, could the true fate of this king, his final days, and the legacy of the empire he once ruled be lost forever to the sands of time? Or is there a forgotten chapter, still waiting to be discovered, hidden in the shadows of ancient Persia, waiting to shed light on the final days of a king whose disappearance remains one of history's most chilling mysteries? As we leave behind the vast Persian Empire and its enigmatic rulers, we now turn our gaze to one of the most mystifying and ancient lands in human history, the land of Egypt. Here, amidst the eternal sands of the Valley of the Kings, where the tombs of pharaohs and queens are carved into the rock and buried beneath the earth, lies a mystery that has remained unresolved for centuries. The forgotten tomb of the pharaoh's high priest, a tomb that could contain not only the secrets of ancient Egypt's most powerful religious figures, but also offer profound insight into the political and spiritual worlds of the pharaohs themselves. In the heart of Egypt, the Valley of the Kings is a place of staggering historical significance. It is here that some of the most remarkable tombs of Egypt's New Kingdom period have been discovered, including the famous tomb of Tutankhamun and the more recently uncovered tomb of Seti, often considered one of the most beautiful tombs ever found in the valley. Yet, despite the hundreds of tombs that have been uncovered over the years, one remains elusive. The tomb of an ancient figure whose title alone evokes power, mystique, and reverence, the High Priest of Amun. Amun was the king of the gods in ancient Egyptian religion, a deity whose influence reached the highest echelons of Egyptian society. By the time of the New Kingdom, particularly during the 18th dynasty, Amun's priests wielded extraordinary power, often rivaling that of the pharaohs themselves. They were not just religious leaders, but political ones as well, advising the rulers of Egypt and controlling vast wealth and land. Among the many high priests of Amun, I stands out as one of the most historically significant figures. His role in the religious and political life of Egypt was pivotal, and some even believe that he may have played a key part in the mysterious reign of Tutankhamun. After Tutankhamun's untimely death, I is thought to have ascended the throne, taking on the title of pharaoh and ruling Egypt for a short period. His influence over the royal court, combined with his status as a high priest, suggests that the tomb of such a powerful figure would be of immense significance. But despite his importance, I's tomb has never been conclusively identified. Some scholars believe that it remains hidden somewhere in the Valley of the Kings, possibly even waiting to be uncovered. The mystery of the high priest's tomb begins with the realization that the tomb of such a powerful religious and political figure would almost certainly be marked by lavish art, inscriptions and riches. If it does indeed lie undiscovered, it raises questions about what might still be concealed in the depths of the valley. Could it be that the tomb of the high priest, potentially one of Egypt's most influential figures, is hidden from view, perhaps purposely obscured from the eyes of archaeologists and explorers? Over the years, Egyptologists and archaeologists have proposed several theories about the tomb's whereabouts. One of the more intriguing ideas comes from the discovery of a previously overlooked tomb in the Valley of the Nobles, which some believe could be the final resting place of a high priest. This tomb, like many others in the valley, was hidden for centuries beneath layers of sand and rubble. Could it be that the tomb of the high priest is buried under similar conditions, lost and waiting to be rediscovered? In addition to the physical search for I's tomb, there is also the question of its contents. The tomb of a high priest would likely have contained not only the body of the priest himself, but also a wealth of artifacts, texts, scrolls, and objects of religious significance. These treasures would provide invaluable insight into the practices and beliefs of ancient Egypt's elite religious figures. But it's not just the physical objects that could shed light on Egypt's past. It's also the inscriptions and hieroglyphs that might reveal long-lost knowledge of the ancient world. Interestingly, some researchers believe that the tomb of the high priest might contain a hidden library of sorts, perhaps even sacred texts that detail the religious rituals of ancient Egypt in a way that has never been seen before. Could these lost manuscripts contain secrets of Egyptian mysticism, the rituals surrounding the worship of Amun, or even forgotten knowledge of the afterlife? Could they provide us with a deeper understanding of the relationship between the pharaohs and their priests? An alliance that in many ways was the backbone of Egypt's ancient society. Another compelling theory points to the possibility that the tomb of the high priest was intentionally hidden either by the priest himself or by his successors. This is not an unusual practice in ancient Egypt, where tombs and burial places were often concealed to protect the deceased belongings from looters. If the tomb of the high priest was hidden, it could be due to the desire to protect its contents, ensuring that the wealth and knowledge it contained would remain intact for eternity. But what might that wealth include? And what could these long-lost treasures reveal about the nature of power and religion in ancient Egypt? Despite these various theories, the fact remains that the tomb of the high priest has not been conclusively identified. Some Egyptologists argue that the tomb was likely destroyed or plundered in ancient times, its contents lost to history. After all, tomb robbing was a common problem in ancient Egypt, and many royal and priestly tombs were raided by thieves long before modern archaeology could begin its work. It is possible that the high priest's tomb suffered the same fate, with its treasures scattered or lost to time. Yet, there are still those who believe that the tomb remains intact, buried beneath the sands of the Valley of the Kings, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Could it be that the tomb of this powerful religious figure holds the key to unlocking some of Egypt's most enduring mysteries? Might it contain hidden scrolls, religious artifacts, or hieroglyphic records that would forever change our understanding of the ancient world? Adding to the enigma is the fact that the tomb of the high priest, if it exists, could be a crucial piece in the broader puzzle of ancient Egypt's political and religious dynamics. The relationship between the pharaohs and the priesthood of Amun was one of the most complex and influential in ancient history. The discovery of a high priest's tomb could provide unprecedented insight into this power dynamic, revealing not just the rituals and beliefs of the time, but also the undercurrents of political intrigue that shaped the fate of the kingdom. And yet, despite all of the speculation and theories, the tomb remains lost, or at least hidden from the modern world. Could it be that we are only scratching the surface of Egypt's ancient past? What if the tomb of the high priest, with its treasures and secrets, is just one of many lost treasures still waiting to be uncovered? What knowledge, what wealth, what stories from the past could still be hidden beneath the sands of Egypt? The unanswered questions only deepen the mystery. The tomb of the high priest may be one of the last great archaeological discoveries yet to be made in the Valley of the Kings, waiting for the right archaeologist, the right team, or perhaps the right technology to bring it into the light. Until then, the mystery endures, buried beneath the sands of time, inviting us all to wonder what could still be hidden in the forgotten tombs of ancient Egypt. As we leave behind the mysteries of ancient Mesopotamia and the elusive crypt of Neobernardus, we now travel to one of the most sacred and contentious sites in the world, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This is a place where religion, history, and legend intertwine, where the remnants of past empires lay buried beneath the surface. But there's something more here, something hidden beneath the stones and sacred grounds. An enigmatic secret tunnel that has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and conspiracy theorists for centuries. This is the mystery of the secret tunnel of the Knights Templar. Beneath the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is one of the oldest and most revered religious sites in the world. It is considered the holiest place in Judaism, the site of the ancient First and Second Temples, where the Ark of the Covenant is said to have been housed. For Muslims, it is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the holiest sites in Islam. The complex is a symbol of religious and political power, a battleground for centuries of conquest, destruction, and restoration. But within the labyrinthine history of the Temple Mount, there exists a hidden layer, one that goes beyond the religious narratives and dives deep into the world of medieval knights and forgotten secrets. Beneath the revered stones of the mount, some believe lies a tunnel, a passageway built by the legendary Knights Templar, whose very name evokes images of secret societies, treasure, and hidden knowledge. The Knights Templar were a medieval Christian military order formed in the 12th century during the Crusades with the primary mission of protecting pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Over time, the Templars grew immensely powerful and wealthy, accumulating vast amounts of land and resources across Europe and the Middle East. But their rise to power was matched only by their fall. In the early 14th century, after nearly 2 centuries of service, the Templars were suddenly disbanded by the Pope, and many of their members were arrested and executed in a series of dramatic events. The order's wealth and secrets were seized, but many of its treasures, relics, and knowledge were lost to history, or so it seemed. One of the most enduring legends surrounding the Templars is the idea that they unearthed something incredibly important beneath the Temple Mount. Some believe they discovered a hidden treasure, others a secret artifact, perhaps even the Holy Grail itself. But what if the Templars didn't just unearth treasure, but an entire network of tunnels lost to time which they used to hide their most sacred relics? Could these tunnels still exist today waiting to be discovered? The most compelling theory revolves around the idea that the Templars, during their time in Jerusalem, uncovered an ancient secret beneath the Temple Mount. A secret hidden for centuries, perhaps even millennia. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, which now dominate the mount, sit atop the remnants of earlier structures, including the Herodian Temple, built by King Herod in the 1st century BCE. It is within this older layer of the Temple Mount that some believe the Templars found their hidden passageways, dark, forgotten corridors leading deep beneath the earth. In the 12th century, when the Templars arrived in Jerusalem, the area was in disrepair, having been under centuries of various empires' control. The Templars, with their vast resources and access to local knowledge, may have been among the few with the means and the incentive to explore these ancient structures beneath the Temple Mount. According to some accounts, they discovered a series of tunnels hidden within the stone, some of which were said to lead directly beneath the sacred Dome of the Rock, where the foundation stone, a rock believed to be the site of God's creation of the world, is located. The story goes that the Templars, after discovering the tunnels, began to use them to store their treasures and sacred relics. It's said that they even built their own passageways within the existing tunnels, reinforcing them and using them to hide away their most valuable and dangerous secrets. But as their influence waned and the order was disbanded, the knowledge of the tunnels and their location may have been lost or intentionally concealed. Over the years, there have been numerous claims of hidden entrances beneath the Temple Mount. Entrances that would lead into the dark, damp tunnels beneath. Some reports suggest that the tunnels were used by the Templars to move freely and discreetly beneath the city, avoiding the prying eyes of the local authorities or their enemies. Other accounts describe secret chambers within the tunnels, some of which were said to contain treasures of unimaginable wealth, while others mention ancient relics or lost artifacts that could have held immense historical or spiritual significance. Despite these stories, no definitive evidence has ever been found to confirm the existence of the Templar tunnels beneath the Temple Mount. In fact, excavation beneath the Temple Mount has been strictly controlled and often prohibited due to the sensitive religious and political tension surrounding the site. Archaeologists have faced immense challenges in accessing the area, and any attempts to explore the depths of the Temple Mount have been met with resistance from religious authorities and various groups, each with their own interests in preserving the sanctity of the space. Yet rumors persist. In the early 20th century, during British control over Palestine, some explorers claimed to have discovered hidden entrances to the tunnels, but these discoveries were never confirmed, and much of the evidence was dismissed or destroyed. In more recent years, satellite imaging and modern technology have allowed for more detailed surveys of the area, and some researchers claim that unusual anomalies have been detected beneath the Temple Mount, spaces or voids that do not appear to correspond to the known structures. Could these anomalies be the remnants of the secret tunnels once used by the Templars, or are they merely natural geological features of the area, magnified by the passage of time and the weight of speculation? The mystery only deepens with each passing year. Some theorists suggest that the Templars may have hidden their knowledge of the tunnels to protect it from those who might misuse it. Could the secrets buried beneath the Temple Mount hold the key to understanding the lost history of Jerusalem, or even the origins of the Templars themselves? If the tunnels do exist, what was their true purpose? Were they merely used to hide treasure? Or was there something more profound? Something that could change our understanding of ancient history? Perhaps the most compelling question remains: what if the secret tunnels of the Knights Templar still exist, waiting to be uncovered? What secrets do they hold?
And why have they been kept hidden for so long?
As the world continues to evolve, the Temple Mount remains a place of reverence, tension, and mystery. And beneath it, perhaps lies a network of tunnels that may one day reveal the lost secrets of the Knights Templar and the ancient past they sought to protect. Until then, the mystery endures, buried beneath the stones of one of the most sacred places on Earth. And so we are left to wonder what might still be hidden, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. As we leave the ancient sands of Egypt behind, our journey now takes us to the lush, sun-soaked valleys of the Peruvian Andes, where the lost civilizations of South America once flourished. Hidden deep within the earth of Peru, beneath centuries of soil and time, lie the golden artifacts of the Moche civilization, a culture renowned for its advanced artistry, mysterious rituals, and enigmatic legacy. These artifacts, many of which remain shrouded in mystery, offer us a rare glimpse into a civilization that thrived long before the rise of the Inca Empire. But despite the awe-inspiring treasures uncovered, the question remains, what do these artifacts truly reveal about the Moche?
And what is still hidden beneath the earth?
The Moche civilization, which thrived between 100 CE and 800 CE in what is now northern Peru, was a complex society with advanced knowledge in engineering, agriculture, and metallurgy. The Moche are most famously known for their intricate pottery, their monumental pyramids, and their remarkable skill in creating gold artifacts. Gold was not just a symbol of wealth for the Moche. It was sacred, tied to the gods and the forces of nature. The role of gold in Moche society transcended the material. It was an expression of divine power, as well as a reflection of the Moche's sophisticated beliefs about the cosmos and the afterlife. The discovery of Moche golden treasures has captivated archaeologists and historians for decades. These treasures were first unearthed in the Jaca de Luna and Jaca del Sol, two massive pyramid complexes located in the Moche Valley where the Moche once held dominion. The artifacts themselves are breathtaking. Finely crafted gold masks, intricate jewelry, detailed figures, and ceremonial objects, all designed with a level of precision that suggests a highly advanced understanding of metallurgy. But as we marvel at these artifacts, we must ask, who were the Moche, and why did they leave behind such extraordinary treasures? One of the most significant discoveries of Moche gold came from the tombs of elite individuals, likely rulers or priests who were buried with their most valuable possessions. Among the most famous of these tombs is that of the Lord of Sepan, an elite Moche warrior priest whose tomb was uncovered in 1987. Inside, archaeologists found an abundance of gold ornaments, including a striking gold mask that covered the face of the mummified lord. The sheer wealth of the tomb was staggering, and it suggested a society where the elite were not only wealthy, but deeply revered as intermediaries between the gods and the people. The Lord of Sean's tomb provided unprecedented insight into the Moche's elite burial practices and their use of gold as a spiritual tool. But the Lord of Saipon is not the only figure who lies buried with gold. Other Moche tombs have been discovered throughout the region, each containing treasures that are equally as enigmatic. The Moche's use of gold was not just ornamental, it held symbolic meaning. Gold objects were often buried with the dead, either as offerings or as part of elaborate burial rituals meant to ensure a safe passage into the afterlife. Many of the Moche's gold artifacts depict human figures, often with exaggerated features or adorned in ceremonial garb, raising questions about the role of such objects in Moche religion and culture. It is not only the physical treasures that fascinate us, but also the iconography that is often depicted on Moche gold. Many of the figures and faces on these objects appear to have a spiritual or supernatural significance. In some cases, they are adorned with what seems to be shamanistic motifs depicting figures with animal or supernatural characteristics. These symbolic representations suggest a deep connection between the Moche and the spiritual world, with gold serving as a medium to communicate with higher powers. The mystery surrounding these golden artifacts deepens when we consider the craftsmanship involved in their creation. The Moche were known to have mastered a technique called lost wax casting, which allowed them to create incredibly intricate and detailed objects. This technique, though sophisticated, was not widely used in other ancient cultures in the Americas at the time. How did the Moche develop such an advanced technology? Was this knowledge passed down from previous civilizations?
Or did they discover it independently?
The precision with which they crafted their gold items suggests not only technical skill, but also an almost spiritual connection to the materials they worked with. What did they believe this process represented? Was it a ritualistic act, a form of communion with the gods, or a form of art meant to capture the essence of life itself? One of the most striking and controversial aspects of the Moche golden treasures is the ceremonial nature of many of the objects. Some of the most mysterious Moche artifacts are gold masks, many of which depict faces with exaggerated features,
Often elongated eyes or sharp, angular noses. These masks, some of which are incredibly lifelike,
suggest that the Moche may have believed in a duality of existence where humans and gods were interconnected and interdependent. It is possible that these masks were not simply representations of gods or kings, but were used in rituals to invoke the presence of the divine or to represent the transformation
of human beings into spiritual or animal forms. The discovery of these golden
treasures has sparked much debate among archaeologists, particularly regarding the role of religion and rituals in Moche society. Could the Moche have been a society governed by a powerful priesthood whose leaders wielded not only political power but spiritual authority? Some researchers have proposed that the Moche civilization may have been built around a complex religious hierarchy with gold objects being used in ceremonies to honor the gods and ensure the fertility of the land. Others have suggested that the Moche's use of gold was directly tied to their understanding of the afterlife, and that the treasures were meant to assist the deceased in their journey to the other side. But these theories are still speculative and much remains unknown. Further adding to the intrigue is the possibility that more treasures lie buried waiting to be discovered. Moche tombs, particularly those of elite individuals, are often found in areas that have yet to be fully excavated. Could there be other, as yet undiscovered burial sites that contain similar riches, perhaps even treasures more elaborate or enigmatic than those already found? If so, what might these discoveries reveal about the Moche civilization's beliefs, their rituals, and their worldview? As we journey deeper into the unexplained relics of the past, our path now leads us far to the east, across the Eurasian steppes, where vast plains stretch endlessly, and the winds whisper the ancient tales of nomadic warriors. Here, amidst the fog of time, we encounter one of the most extraordinary treasures ever discovered, the golden mask of the Saiyan king. This mask, discovered in a tomb in the Altai mountains of Siberia, is not just an artifact. It is a symbol of a once great warrior culture that left behind few traces of its legacy. The Scythians, who flourished between the 7th and 3rd centuries BCE, were a nomadic people whose kingdoms spanned the vast expanses from the Black Sea to the Central Asian steppes. Little is known about them, as their nomadic lifestyle left little permanent evidence behind. And yet the artifacts they did leave, particularly the golden mask, continue to haunt the imaginations of historians, archaeologists and treasure hunters alike. The mask itself is a marvel of craftsmanship made from pure gold and intricately designed to resemble the face of a warrior king. The eyes of the mask, large and expressive, seem almost alive, staring forward with an intense, unwavering gaze. The details are astonishing, decorated with patterns that seem to blend the natural world with supernatural symbolism. The mouth is slightly curved, offering an expression that is both regal and stern. It is as if the mask captures the essence of the Scythian elite, a people who were as feared for their prowess in battle as they were revered for their enigmatic rituals. Discovered in the late 19th century, the golden mask was unearthed in a burial mound known as a kraal, a type of mound used by the Sayans to bury their dead. This mound, however, was not just the final resting place of a typical Scythian warrior, but of a king, a ruler whose wealth and power seemed to have transcended the ordinary. The mask, along with other treasures found in the tomb, suggests that the person interred there was someone of immense importance, possibly a king or high-ranking chieftain. What makes this discovery even more fascinating is that the golden mask is only one of many remarkable finds in this ancient tomb. Among the burial goods were intricately crafted weapons, golden jewelry, and ritualistic items, all suggesting that the Scythians had complex burial rituals steeped in symbolism. Yet despite the wealth of material culture surrounding this tomb, the identity of the Scythian king remains unknown. Who was this powerful ruler? And why was he buried with such extraordinary treasures? Could the golden mask be more than just an artistic creation? Perhaps a representation of something even more profound. One of the most intriguing aspects of the mask is its design. The face depicted on the mask is highly stylized with angular features and exaggerated proportions. It bears a resemblance to no known Scythian ruler, and yet the patterns etched into the surface suggest a deep connection to the spiritual beliefs of the Scythian people. Could the mask represent not just a king but a divine figure, a ruler who was seen as a bridge between the living world and the realm of the gods? The Scythians were known for their shamanistic practices, and some believe that this mask may have been used in rituals meant to invoke the power of the gods or to ensure the king's safe passage into the afterlife. In the world of Scythian art, gold was often used as a symbol of the divine. Gold, with its brilliant sheen and indestructibility, was considered the material of the gods, capable of transcending death and time. In this context, the golden mask could be interpreted as an attempt to immortalize the king, to make his face eternal and ensure his presence in the spiritual world. The mask may have been placed over the king's face during the funeral rites, a final offering to ensure his spirit would continue to live on in the afterlife. Another intriguing possibility is that the mask may have served as a form of propaganda, a way for the king to immortalize his rule and convey his strength to both his people and his enemies. The Scythians were known for their warlike nature, and many of their tombs have yielded weapons and armor, suggesting that the dead were often powerful warriors in life. Could the golden mask have been designed to project an image of invincibility, a ruler whose face would strike fear into the hearts of adversaries for generations to come? Yet despite the riches of the tomb and the magnificence of the golden mask, the identity of the king remains elusive. The lack of written records from the Sayans, who were predominantly an oral culture, has left us with few clues as to who this ruler might have been. Some historians believe the mask could represent King Silas, a powerful ruler of the Sayans, whose reign is mentioned in the works of ancient Greek historians. However, there is no definitive evidence to link this king to the mask, and many scholars argue that the tomb may belong to a lesser-known or completely forgotten ruler. This lack of identification only adds to the mystery. The Scythian kingdom, though vast, left behind few written records, and the records that do exist are often fragmented, lost, or written by outsiders like the Greeks and Persians who viewed the Sayans through the lens of their own cultures. In fact, the Sayans' nomadic lifestyle made them somewhat elusive to historians, as they did not leave behind monumental cities or inscriptions in the way that other ancient civilizations did. Instead, they left behind burial mounds and treasures like the golden mask, and it is through these objects that we attempt to piece together their story. Some historians speculate that the Scythian king's identity may have been deliberately erased or forgotten, perhaps to remove any trace of a ruler whose memory might have been deemed inconvenient or undesirable by subsequent regimes. Could it be that the king's legacy was intentionally buried alongside him, lost in the sands of time to prevent the rise of rival dynasties? or to suppress the spiritual beliefs that he may have espoused. As with many other historical mysteries, there are also more fringe theories that suggest the mask could have a supernatural origin or connection. Some have proposed that the design of the mask is so unique, so distinct from other Scythian artifacts, that it could be the product of outside influence, possibly even a lost culture or civilization. Could the Scions have come into contact with more advanced or unknown peoples whose knowledge was imparted to them through mysterious means? Or could this mask with its otherworldly presence be a link to an ancient spiritual tradition, one that was lost long ago and might hold the key to understanding the true nature of the Scythians' power? While these theories are speculative, they serve to highlight just how little we truly know about the Scythian civilization. The golden mask, despite its beauty and intricacy, remains an enigma, one of many that dots the landscape of our ancient past. What can we truly say about the man whose face was immortalized in gold? Was he a king, a shaman, or something more? What beliefs and rituals did the Scythians hold so sacred that they crafted such a masterpiece to honor their rulers? The mystery of the golden mask of the Scion king invites us to wonder not just about this one artifact, but about the vast, unexplored reaches of history. How much of our past is still hidden, waiting to be unearthed? What other treasures, what other kings lie buried beneath the earth, their stories untold, their identities forgotten? Perhaps in the distant future, another discovery will reveal the truth behind the mask. Until then, it remains a haunting reminder of the mysteries that still wait to be uncovered. As we move from the vast steppes of the Scythian warriors to the warm waters of the Mediterranean Sea, we encounter another mystery, one that is as ancient as the tides themselves. Below the calm, shimmering surface of the sea lies a discovery that challenges our understanding of ancient maritime technology. The oldest known wooden ship ever found, an artifact whose preservation and origins continue to confound archaeologists and historians alike. Known as the Festos shipwreck, this vessel holds the key to a time long past, an era when the Mediterranean world was just beginning to weave its network of trade, culture, and warfare. The wreck of the ship, which was discovered off the coast of Crete, is believed to date back to around 2400 BCE. What makes this ship so extraordinary is not just its age, but the mystery of how it managed to survive so long beneath the waves. While wooden ships were common in the ancient world, they rarely survived the ravages of time. Yet, this particular vessel was preserved in an astonishing state, giving us a rare and unexpected window into the technology and craftsmanship of the early Mediterranean world. When the shipwreck was first discovered, it was buried deep in the sediment at the bottom of the sea, its wooden remains resting silently beneath the surface. As divers and archaeologists began to uncover the fragments, they were stunned by the condition of the ship. Large sections of the wooden hull remained intact, as well as some ceramic vessels that had been stored on board, preserved by the unique conditions of the Mediterranean waters. The most remarkable aspect of the discovery, however, was the ship's construction, an intricate design that displayed advanced knowledge of naval engineering for its time. The vessel appears to have been a cargo ship, its purpose likely to transport goods across the Mediterranean. It is thought to have been built using planks of wood that were lashed together with ropes and metal fastenings, a technique that was innovative for its time. The ship's design suggests that it was not just a simple boat, but a vessel capable of long distance voyages likely used for the burgeoning trade routes that connected the ancient civilizations of the Mediterranean. These routes were crucial to the exchange of goods,
ideas, and culture in the ancient world.
And the ship's design reflects the technological advancements that were beginning to take place in shipbuilding. The mystery of the Festos shipwreck, however, lies not only in its age and remarkable preservation, but in the unanswered questions surrounding its origins. The identity of the ship's creators remains unknown. Was it built by the Manoans, who inhabited Crete, and are known for their seafaring prowess? Or was it constructed by a different civilization, possibly one that has left behind little evidence of its existence? The Manoans themselves are an enigmatic people, and much about their civilization remains shrouded in mystery. They are credited with being among the first to develop advanced maritime technology in the Mediterranean, but their origins and eventual decline are topics of ongoing debate. Adding to the intrigue is the fact that the Fasto shipwreck is not the only ancient wooden ship to have been found in the Mediterranean. Over the years, various other shipwrecks have been discovered, some even older than the Fistos vessel. Yet this particular ship stands out because of its unique construction and the level of preservation. The conditions of the Mediterranean's seabed, calm, stable, and nutrient-poor, are often ideal for preserving organic materials like wood. But even with these conditions, such a remarkable find is rare. How was this shipwreck preserved for over 4,000 years, while so many others have rotted away or disintegrated? One possible explanation for the ship's preservation is the unique environment in which it was found. The waters around Crete, particularly in the area where the Fisto shipwreck was discovered, are known for their lack of oxygen at greater depths. This creates a hypoxic environment which slows the process of decay. As a result, organic materials like wood are able to survive for far longer than they would in more oxygenated waters. The ship may have been buried in this sediment long ago, offering a natural safeguard against the ravages of time and the usual wear and tear that comes with exposure to water and salt. Yet, even with this natural preservation, the ship's advanced design raises questions about the technological capabilities of the people who built it. Could the builders of the ship have had access to knowledge or resources that were ahead of their time? The use of advanced construction techniques, such as plank-on-frame construction, suggests a level of sophistication that was uncommon in the Mediterranean world at the time. In fact, this type of shipbuilding technique was not widely used until much later in history during the classical Greek period. Could the Fisto ship have been part of a long-lost tradition of maritime engineering that was ahead of its time, only to be forgotten or lost to history? Some archaeologists have even speculated that the ship may have had connections to distant cultures, perhaps serving as a link between early Mediterranean civilizations and those further afield. Could it have been part of a trade network that spanned from the shores of Egypt to the islands of the Aegean? The Manoans, for example, were known for their extensive maritime trade, and their ships are thought to have sailed as far as the coasts of Syria and Cyprus. Could the Fisto shipwreck have been part of a larger network of vessels connecting these far-flung regions? If so, what goods were being traded? And how far did the influence of these ancient cultures truly reach? The discovery of the Fisto shipwreck also raises intriguing questions about the role of navigation and seafaring in the ancient Mediterranean world. The ship's construction suggests that the people who built it were skilled navigators, able to venture out into open water and sail across long distances. This raises the question, how did the early Mediterranean peoples navigate the seas? While the ancient Egyptians and Phoenicians are well known for their advanced navigation techniques, little is known about the Manoans, or the other early Mediterranean peoples. Could they have developed sophisticated navigational methods such as using the stars or the sun long before we thought such techniques were possible? Of course, there are many unanswered questions about the shipwreck, and much of its story remains a mystery. Could there be more hidden beneath the waves? Other wrecks? Other ships? Other pieces of history waiting to be discovered? The Fisto shipwreck, with its extraordinary preservation and intriguing design, is just one piece of the puzzle, and we may still be missing key elements that would help us understand the full picture of early Mediterranean seafaring. As we ponder the mystery of the oldest wooden ship in the Mediterranean, we are left to wonder about the true extent of ancient maritime exploration. What other civilizations long forgotten by history sailed these waters?
And what secrets do they hold?
The Fisto shipwreck may have given us a glimpse into the past, but how much of that past still remains hidden beneath the sea. The mysteries of the ancient world are far from over, and who knows what we might find when we dive deeper into the depths of history as we leave the serene waters of the Mediterranean. Behind, our journey now takes us to a much more desolate and inhospitable landscape, the vast, unforgiving deserts of Western China. Here, beneath the endless stretches of sand and rugged mountains, lies a mystery that has baffled historians and archaeologists for centuries. The disappearance of the 10th Roman Legion, a military unit that vanished without a trace during an ill-fated campaign in the East. The story of the lost 10th Legion is one of ancient power, unanswered questions, and an unexplained fate that still lingers in the wind-swept desert. It begins in 53 BCE at the height of the Roman Empire's expansion. The 10th Legion, a formidable fighting force led by the renowned Roman general Cassius, was part of a larger military campaign aimed at securing Roman interests in the Persian Empire. Crassus had ambitious plans to expand Rome's reach into the east, and the 10th Legion, known for its fierce reputation in battle, was tasked with advancing into what is now modern-day Iraq. However, during this campaign, the Legion found itself in a catastrophic encounter, a battle known as the Battle of Caer. The battle was a crushing defeat for the Romans, and Crassus himself was killed. The surviving Roman forces, including the 10th Legion, retreated. But it was during a later campaign in 53 BCE that the real mystery began to unfold. The 10th Legion, under the command of a new leader, was sent to secure Roman interests further east. They were to venture into the Persian heartland, and their journey led them across the Silk Road and into lands that the Romans knew very little about. What happened to the Legion after they left the Roman Empire's familiar territories remains a question that no one has been able to answer definitively. It was in China's Taklamakan Desert,
one of the most inhospitable places on Earth,
that the 10th Legion is believed to have disappeared. The desert, a vast expanse of shifting sands and scorching heat, offers little in the way of shelter or water. But amid this barren landscape, there is a place where the remnants of an ancient Roman presence were uncovered. A Roman-style fortification, complete with Roman weapons, coins and other artifacts, all bearing unmistakable Roman insignia. The discovery was made in the 1930s by a team of Chinese archaeologists, and it set off a flurry of speculation about the fate of the 10th Legion. The fort itself is remarkably well preserved, standing as an eerie monument to a time when Roman soldiers may have once fought and lived on the far edge of the known world. The coins discovered that date back to the 1st century BCE, and the artifacts found alongside them suggest that Roman soldiers once occupied the area. But how did they get there? And more importantly, what happened to them? One theory is that the 10th Legion, after being defeated at Caer, was forced to retreat eastward. Unable to return to Rome due to the overwhelming defeat and the Persian forces in pursuit, the soldiers may have sought refuge along the Silk Road. It is possible that they were hired by local warlords who had dealings with the Roman Empire. Their journey across the Silk Road would have brought them into contact with the nomadic tribes of the steppe, the Parthians, and perhaps even the early Chinese empires that were just beginning to establish themselves. It is believed that the Romans could have entered China by way of Central Asia, possibly reaching the Tarim Basin, a crucial region along the ancient Silk Road that was home to powerful kingdoms. The discovery of Roman-style artifacts in this desert fort, objects such as Roman helmets, shields, spears, and coins, suggests that the 10th Legion may have made it as far as the edge of China. But how did they get there? And what could have brought them into contact with Chinese forces who were already dealing with their own internal conflicts and external threats? This is where the mystery deepens. The Roman soldiers would have been thousands of miles from their homeland, cut off from any reinforcements, and living in a world that was completely foreign to them. How did they adapt to such a radically different environment? How did they survive the harsh desert conditions One possibility is that the 10th Legion, once it had reached the Taklamakan Desert, was tasked with defending local kingdoms, or acting as mercenaries for various factions that had dealings with the Roman Empire. The exact nature of these alliances, however, remains speculative. Did they form alliances with local Chinese warlords, or were they simply lost in a land so vast that they became isolated from the rest of the world? Were they involved in trade, or were they caught up in a series of battles that led to their eventual annihilation? There are reports from Chinese sources of foreign soldiers being captured in the Han Dynasty during this time, but it is unclear whether these reports refer to the 10th Legion or to other groups of foreign mercenaries. Some suggest that the Romans may have been swept up in the complex power struggles between China and the Qiangnu, a powerful nomadic group that posed a significant threat to the Han Empire. Could the 10th Legion have become involved in these conflicts,
ultimately leading to their destruction or dispersal?
It is possible that they were caught in the crossfire between the nomads and the Chinese armies, or perhaps they were simply forgotten by history, their fate sealed by the passage of time and the isolation of the desert. As we dig deeper into this mystery, we begin to confront some more speculative theories. Could the 10th Legion have been part of a larger Roman presence in the East? A presence that may have been more widespread than we've ever been told? Could the Romans have had a more extensive network of expeditions and colonies beyond their empire's borders? A network that has been deliberately erased from the historical record. Some theorists suggest that the Romans might have had far-reaching interests in the East, extending into China and beyond, and that their presence in the desert may have been the result of covert operations designed to expand Roman influence into Asia. Others propose that the Legion could have been lost in battle with an ancient civilization that has since vanished from history, leaving no trace but a single Roman fort in the desert. Even more mysterious are the written records that suggest the Romans may have made it further into China than we realize. Some ancient Chinese texts speak of Westerners or red-haired foreigners, a possible reference to Roman soldiers who may have traveled along the Silk Road. These references have yet to be definitively proven to refer to Romans, but their presence in ancient Chinese literature suggests that the idea of Roman expeditions to the east was not as far-fetched as it may first appear. The fate of the 10th Roman Legion remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. What happened to these soldiers lost in the desolate deserts of China? Were they integrated into local cultures, or were they destroyed by the harsh realities of life far from home? The mystery persists, fueled by the coins, weapons, and fortifications left behind, and we are left with lingering questions that may never be fully answered. Could there be more buried beneath the sands, waiting to be uncovered? What other secrets does this forgotten chapter of history hold? Perhaps, like the Legion itself, the answers remain just out of reach, hidden in the shifting sands of time. As we leave the arid deserts of China, we now turn our gaze to another mysterious and forgotten chapter of history, one that remains etched in the sandstone cliffs of the American Southwest. The Anasazi, a culture known for their remarkable cliff dwellings and sophisticated engineering, left behind a legacy that still captivates archaeologists and historians today. Yet, for all their achievements, their disappearance remains one of the most perplexing and haunting puzzles of ancient North America. Imagine standing on the edge of a rugged canyon, the sun casting long shadows over towering rock formations. Before you lies an ancient city, seemingly frozen in time, a city built not on the ground but high within the cliffs themselves. These dwellings, known as the cliff dwellings of the Anasazi, are some of the most iconic, remnants of a civilization that flourished in the Four Corners region of the American Southwest, where the states of Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah converge. The cliff dwellings, particularly those in Mesa Verde National Park, are awe-inspiring in their scale and craftsmanship. Carefully constructed from sandstone blocks, the dwellings cling to the sheer faces of cliffs, offering a glimpse into a highly organized and advanced society. At their peak, the Anasazi, also known as the ancestral Puebloans, were builders of remarkable multi-story dwellings, intricately designed caves, ceremonial rooms, and complex irrigation systems that allowed them to thrive in a harsh, arid landscape. They had sophisticated agricultural techniques, cultivating corn, beans, and squash in an area that many believed unsuitable for farming. The Anasazi were also skilled artisans, creating intricate pottery and weaving textiles that are still admired for their beauty and craftsmanship. Yet for all their remarkable achievements, the Anasazi disappeared from the region around the end of the 12th century, leaving their cliff dwellings behind, abandoned. What happened to them?
Why did they suddenly vanish from their homes in the cliffs, leaving behind empty structures and abandoned possessions?
The mystery of the Anasazi's disappearance has haunted historians for centuries, and despite decades of research, no definitive answer has emerged. The cliff dwellings themselves offer no clues as to why the Anasazi left. In some of these structures, tools and pottery were left behind, as though the inhabitants simply walked away in haste. In other cases, burned walls and collapsed roofs suggest a hasty departure, perhaps driven by a sudden disaster. But what could have caused such a drastic and sudden abandonment of such an advanced society? One of the prevailing theories is that the Anasazi were forced to leave due to severe drought. The Southwest, with its dry climate, is no
stranger to periods of extreme water scarcity, and it is
believed that the region experienced a severe and prolonged drought around the time the Anastasia disappeared. The drying up of rivers and springs, coupled with the failure of their agricultural crops, may have made life in the region unsustainable. The Anasazi relied heavily on irrigation systems to water their crops, and when these systems could no longer sustain the population, it is thought that the Anastasia had no choice but to leave. However, there are several problems with this theory. First, droughts were not uncommon in the region, and the Anastasia had lived through periods of drought before, often adapting their agricultural methods or moving to other areas in search of water. Second, the timing of the droughts does not fully explain why the Anastasia abandoned their cliff dwellings so suddenly. Could there have been other factors at play? Another theory points to social unrest or internal conflict. The Anastasia were a complex society with numerous villages and clans spread across a vast area. It is possible that competition for resources, such as water and food, led to tensions between different groups. Archaeological evidence suggests that some Anasazi communities may have been involved in violent conflict during this period. Could these tensions have led to the collapse of the Anasazi society, forcing them to abandon their homes and move to other regions in search of peace? If so, why were the cliff dwellings, which were so intricately designed and heavily fortified, abandoned so abruptly? Were they overtaken by invaders, or were they simply no longer defensible against the changing environment? There is also the possibility that the Anastasia were affected by external factors, such as the arrival of other groups or tribes. The arrival of the Navajo and Apache tribes in the region may have contributed to the breakdown of Anasazi society, as these new groups brought their own cultures and ways of life, which may have created competition for resources and space. The Anasazi had already been interacting with other peoples, but could the pressure from these newcomers have been too much to handle? And if so, why did the Anastasia not integrate with these new groups, but instead choose to abandon their cliff dwellings altogether? The mystery deepens when we consider the possibility of a spiritual or cultural collapse. The Anastasia were deeply connected to their land, and their rituals and beliefs were centered around the natural world: the sun, the moon, the stars, and the earth itself. It is possible that the collapse of their society was driven not just by external pressures, but by a spiritual crisis. Were the Anasazi's beliefs, their worldview, shattered by a series of disasters such as drought, famine, or conflict that made them lose faith in the land they had once held sacred? Did they leave because they believed their connection to the land was broken and could no longer sustain them? In more recent years, some researchers have proposed even more speculative theories. Some suggest that the Anasazi were the victims of a cataclysmic event, perhaps an earthquake, a flood, or some other natural disaster that left the region uninhabitable. Others have speculated that the Anasazi may have left to join another civilization or even disappeared into myth. Their society transformed into something beyond our understanding. Could they have disappeared due to an event so sudden and extreme that it left no trace of their departure? One of the most intriguing ideas is that the Anasazi may not have disappeared at all, but instead migrated to other regions. Leaving behind only the remnants of their once great civilization, could the descendants of the Anasazi have integrated with other Native American tribes, such as the Hopi or Zuri, and passed down their knowledge and culture through oral tradition? This theory suggests that the Anasazi did not vanish into oblivion, but instead became part of a larger tapestry of Native American history that we are only now beginning to understand. What is certain is that the Anastasia mystery remains unsolved. Their cliff dwellings scattered across the southwest are silent witnesses to a once thriving civilization that left no written record, no detailed history of their lives or their departure. They remain a haunting testament to the fragility of even the most advanced societies. How a culture that once thrived in one of the most difficult environments on Earth could seemingly disappear overnight. And so we are left to wonder what happened to the Anasazi. Was it a natural disaster that drove them away? Were they the victims of internal strife or external invasion? Or did they leave because they had simply reached the end of their journey as a people and as a culture? The answers remain elusive, and perhaps they always will. But the mystery of the Anastasia's disappearance continues to echo through the desert winds. A reminder that some questions, no matter how deeply we search, may never be answered. As we shift our focus from the cliffs of the American Southwest, we journey now to the farthest reaches of the Earth. A place so inhospitable, so desolate, that it is often called a land of no return. The frozen continent of Antarctica, a land of ice and snow, has long been a place of mystery and intrigue, a world at the edge of civilization. Yet beneath the thick layers of ice and snow, beneath the blinding cold and howling winds, lies a mystery so profound, so baffling that it seems almost impossible to fathom. Pyramids. Yes, you heard that correctly. Beneath the glacial ice of Antarctica, in an area where no human civilization has ever existed, there have been reports of strange pyramidal structures, large geometrically precise formations buried deep beneath the ice. The claims of such discoveries first surfaced in the late 20th century and have since sparked intense debate among scientists, archaeologists, and conspiracy theorists alike. Are these pyramids the remnants of a long-forgotten civilization buried beneath the ice for millennia? Or are they the product of natural geological formations, mere coincidence in the shape of pyramids? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all, if these structures are truly man-made, what civilization built them?
And why were they hidden beneath the ice?
To begin our exploration, let us first visualize the landscape of Antarctica. This landmass, covered almost entirely by ice sheets and glaciers, is one of the most remote and inhospitable places on Earth. Temperatures here can plummet to 60 degrees, and fierce winds howl across the icy plains, making any kind of sustained human presence all but impossible. Yet, despite the extremity of the environment, there are tantalizing signs that something more lies beneath the surface.
A world of secrets hidden in the ice.
The most famous of these mysteries is the so-called Pyramid of Antarctica, located in the Queen Mare Mountains. Discovered by satellite imaging in the early 2000s, the pyramid appears to have a distinct angular shape with straight edges and a flat top, almost identical to the famous pyramids of Egypt. The image, though blurry, appears to show a structure that resembles a pyramid surrounded by other formations that also suggest artificial manipulation. But this is not the only pyramid-like formation in the region. Other anomalies, some of them even larger, have been identified in various parts of Antarctica, leading some to suggest that the entire continent may have once been home to an ancient civilization whose remains are now buried beneath the ice. The most intriguing part of the story, however, is the lack of concrete evidence. No one has ever physically explored these alleged pyramids in person, and as of yet, no official expeditions have been launched to confirm the presence of such structures. Despite this, the satellite images have been analyzed by independent researchers, some of whom argue that the shapes they see in the photographs are too precise, too symmetrical to be natural formations. Could these be the remains of a lost civilization? Possibly one that predates all known human history. The idea is compelling, but it is also deeply unsettling. For if true, it suggests that human history is far more complex and ancient than we have ever imagined. To understand why this mystery is so compelling, we must first look at the history of Antarctica. Most people know the continent as a land of perpetual ice, where the harsh climate has made it impossible for any human civilization to take root. But what if this wasn't always the case? What if Antarctica was once a much warmer place capable of supporting life, perhaps even an advanced civilization? Scientists have long speculated that during the Paleocene and Iowine epochs around 50 million years ago, Antarctica was far warmer than it is today, with forests and lush vegetation thriving in what was once a more temperate climate. The idea that ancient civilizations may have once lived in Antarctica is therefore not as outlandish as it might first seem. Some researchers point to the ancient mythologies of various cultures, which speak of lost civilizations that existed long before recorded history. For instance, the Greek philosopher Plato famously wrote about Atlantis, a civilization that allegedly existed thousands of years ago before disappearing beneath the waves. Some theorists have suggested that Antarctica could have been the location of Atlantis, and that the pyramids beneath the ice are the remains of this lost civilization. The idea is certainly dramatic, and it taps into a deep-seated human fascination with ancient forgotten cultures. Another more speculative theory suggests that these pyramids could be the work of a much more recent civilization, possibly one that predates the known history of human exploration in Antarctica. Could these structures be the remnants of a civilization that flourished on the continent during the Ice Age, only to be buried
under ice after a sudden climatic shift?
If true, this would mean that the ice sheets of Antarctica are not simply a product of the last ice age, but a much more ancient phenomenon. Then there is the theory that the pyramids beneath the ice could be the result of an extraterrestrial presence. According to some fringe theorists, the unusual geometric shapes found in Antarctica are not the work of any human civilization, but rather the result of an advanced alien race. This idea is bolstered by claims of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, being seen near the South Pole, and by reports from some explorers and researchers who have suggested that there may be hidden technology beneath the ice, possibly even alien artifacts. These claims, however, remain highly speculative and have not been substantiated by any hard evidence. Despite these theories, the most commonly accepted explanation remains that the pyramids and other structures are merely natural formations, erosion patterns or geological anomalies created over millions of years by wind and ice. There are certainly examples of mountains and rock formations around the world that resemble pyramids, and the idea that the Antarctic structures are simply another example of nature's random creativity is not without merit. And yet there is something undeniably strange about the way these formations appear in satellite images. Could nature have created such precise angular shapes without the intervention of some intelligent force? Could these structures really be the result of erosion, or is there a more deliberate hand at work here? Even if these formations are natural, their sheer scale and unusual geometry remain baffling. As we continue to explore this frozen continent, one thing remains clear.
Antarctica is a land of hidden secrets.
Beneath its thick ice sheets, ancient mysteries wait to be uncovered, and the pyramids beneath the ice may just be the tip of the iceberg. Will future expeditions reveal the truth behind these enigmatic structures? Or will they remain one of the planet's greatest unsolved mysteries, buried beneath layers of time and ice? Perhaps, as with so many mysteries before, the answers will remain just out of reach, leaving us to wonder what could be hidden beneath the ice. As we venture through the pages of history, few figures have captured the collective imagination quite like King Arthur, the legendary ruler of Camelot, whose tale of chivalry, knights, and mystical powers has endured for over a millennium. His story has transcended generations, appearing in countless medieval texts, epic poems, and films. Yet as compelling as Arthur's legend is, the truth behind his existence remains shrouded in mystery. Was King Arthur a real historical figure? Or is he merely a mythic creation born of the imagination of storytellers? To begin our exploration, let's picture the world where Arthur's story begins. A world where history blends seamlessly with myth. Imagine ancient Britain in the midst of a turbulent period. The Dark Ages. The year is somewhere between the 5th and 6th centuries, and the island is reeling from the collapse of the Roman Empire, leaving a fractured land vulnerable to invasions from the Saxons and other tribes. It is in this backdrop of chaos that the legend of Arthur is said to have emerged. A young leader rising from obscurity to unite a broken people and defend them against foreign invaders. The earliest mention of King Arthur appears in the Historia Briton, written in the 9th century by the monk Nennius. According to this account, Arthur was a warrior who led the Britons to victory in a series of battles against the Saxons. However, Nennius's account is brief and cryptic, leaving many details about Arthur's life and reign uncertain. Its first comprehensive telling of Arthur's legend comes in the 12th century through the works of Geoffrey of Monmouth. In his book History of the Kings of Britain, Geoffrey, often considered the father of the Arthurian legend, gives us a more fleshed-out narrative, weaving together elements of Ceoalic romance, magical feats, and royal lineage. Yet, even Geoffrey's account raises more questions than it answers. The question of whether Arthur ever existed remains at the core of the debate. For some, the evidence of his existence is clear. The references in early texts, the cultural impact of his legend, and the archaeological findings that suggest a strong warrior leader could have once risen to prominence in this turbulent era. But for others, Arthur is nothing more than a fictional creation, an idealized figure born from the collective need for a hero to rise in a time of uncertainty and strife. The mystery deepens further when we consider the blending of history and myth. Arthur's Camelot, with its round table and noble knights, is a fantasy world that seems almost too perfect to have ever existed. Was Camelot a real place, or was it simply the creation of later writers and poets? As we look deeper into the history of Arthurian legend, we find ourselves tangled in a web of conflicting evidence. One of the most tantalizing leads comes from the famous Battle of Ben Hill, a conflict that is often cited as the turning point in Arthur's military career. According to many historical accounts, the Briton won a significant victory over the Saxons in this battle, and some scholars have argued that this is a real event linked to Arthur's leadership. Yet, there are no definitive historical records or archaeological evidence to confirm that Arthur was the leader of the British forces at Ben Hill. The battle is mentioned in several medieval texts, but it is unclear whether Arthur was a king or merely a military leader who rose to prominence during this time. Despite these uncertainties, many historians and archaeologists have pointed to potential sites that could be linked to Arthur's legacy. In Wales, the ruins of Colin, once a Roman military outpost, are often cited as a possible location for Camelot. Tintagel Castle on the coast of Cornwall is another prominent site tied to Arthurian legend, with archaeological discoveries revealing signs of royal activity during the 6th century. However, these sites have not provided definitive proof of Arthur's existence. While they may offer a glimpse into the medieval world of Arthur's time, they do little to confirm the details of his life and reign. Further complicating the search for truth is the presence of legendary elements in Arthur's story. Take, for example, the sword in the stone, a key symbol of Arthur's divine right to rule. This magical sword, known as Excalibur, has been the subject of countless retellings, each more fantastical than the last. In some versions, Arthur is the only one capable of pulling the sword from the stone, a moment that marks his ascension to the throne.
But where does the sword come from?
Was it a literal artifact, or does it symbolize Arthur's rightful rule? Was Excalibur a gift from the Lady of the Lake, or is it simply an invention of later writers? Excalibur remains one of the most iconic and mystical elements of the Arthurian legend. Yet, its origins, much like the rest of the myth, are unclear. Another key element of the Arthurian myth that continues to elude historians is the question of Arthur's family. In the earliest texts, Arthur is portrayed as a noble-born leader, often the son of a King Uther, Pendragon. But what is the truth behind Arthur's lineage? Is he truly the son of a royal family, or was he a leader who rose from more humble beginnings? The story of Arthur's birth, in which he is magically conceived through the intervention of the wizard Merlin, further blurs the lines between reality and myth. The presence of Merlin, the wise and mystical wizard who aids Arthur throughout his journey, raises further questions. Was Merlin simply a mythological figure, or could he have represented a real historical figure, perhaps a wise counselor or shaman whose role became embellished over time? For some, the mystery of King Arthur's disappearance is just as compelling as the question of his existence. According to legend, after a long and prosperous reign, Arthur is mortally wounded in the final battle of his life at the hands of his own son. Morid Daunt Arthur's last command is to be carried to the Isle of Avalon, where he is said to have been laid to rest, awaiting the time when he will return to save Britain from its greatest hour of need. But did Arthur truly die? Is he truly buried in Avalon? Or is this just another piece of the myth? What happened to the once great king and his Camelot? Is Arthur's return a symbolic gesture, a promise of a hero's return in times of great need? Or is there something more to this tale?
As we contemplate the mystery of King Arthur, we are left with a multitude of unanswered questions.
Was he a real king, a warrior who fought to defend his people against the Saxons? Or was he merely a symbol, a figurehead created to embody the hopes and dreams of a people? Did Camelot ever exist as a real place, or was it the product of later imaginations? And if Arthur did exist, why is there no concrete evidence to prove his reign? Could it be that the true story of Arthur, hidden beneath layers of myth, is even more incredible than we can imagine? The disappearance of King Arthur remains one of history's greatest mysteries. And as we dig deeper into the evidence, we find ourselves drawn into a story that straddles the line between history and legend. A story that has captivated the human imagination for over 1,000 years and will likely continue to do so for many more. The question remains, did King Arthur ever truly exist? Or is he simply a myth that has stood the test of time? We now turn our attention to the dense jungles of southern Mexico, where the ancient Olmec civilization once flourished. These enigmatic people, often considered the mother culture of Mesoamerica, left behind monumental artifacts, striking works of art, and complex symbolism that continue to puzzle archaeologists and historians alike. Among the most mysterious and haunting of these objects are the jade masks, delicate yet imposing relics that seem to embody something far greater than mere decoration. Imagine, if you will, standing at the edge of a dense rainforest. The air is thick with humidity, and the symphony of unseen creatures fills the atmosphere. Hidden beneath a canopy of trees, the remains of Mech cities lie in ruins. Forgotten by time, yet teeming with secrets, here, archaeologists have uncovered stunning carved stone heads.
Massive, colossal heads that tower over the landscape.
Their exaggerated features etched into the stone with extraordinary precision. These heads are perhaps the most famous of the CH relics, and they point to the civilization's considerable mastery in both art and engineering. However, it is not only these colossal heads that fascinate researchers. Among the many discoveries, one set of artifacts stands out as particularly enigmatic: the jade masks. Crafted from the most precious material known to themes, jade, these masks evoke a sense of mysticism and solemnity. Whether displayed in ceremonial contexts or buried with the dead, these objects are rich in symbolism, and yet their true purpose remains elusive. In the years following the initial discovery of the Olmec jade masks, archaeologists have pieced together certain facts, but questions continue to swirl around their meaning, their function, and the significance they held in Mech society. Jade itself was a rare and revered material, valued far more than gold in the ancient world of Mesoamerica. For the Olmec, the material held spiritual and cosmic significance, believed to embody the power of life and death. But what exactly were the jade masks intended to represent? And why were they so important to the Olmec people? Most of the masks that have been discovered are small, no larger than a human face, and yet they seem to be more than mere decorative objects. Some feature exaggerated, stylized facial features, such as bulging eyes, prominent cheekbones, and wide, slightly open mouths. Their expressions are somber and serene, but they also radiate a strange, almost unsettling energy. Were these masks meant to represent gods, kings, or ancestral spirits? Or were they more deeply tied to the spiritual and mystical beliefs of the Olmec civilization? The first jade mask was discovered in Levanta, one of the principal Olmec archaeological sites in the 1940s. Since then, numerous examples have been unearthed, many of them found within elite burial sites, suggesting that they may have haderary or ritualistic purposes. This raises another question. Were these masks created for the living or for the dead? Some masks appear to have been worn by the deceased in their tombs, while others show signs of being used in rituals by the living. This duality hints at a deeper, more complex role for these artifacts in Mech culture. Perhaps they bridged the gap between the material and spiritual worlds, serving as conduits to the divine. One of the most remarkable aspects of the jade masks is their exceptional craftsmanship. Some of the masks are so intricately carved that they suggest an advanced understanding of the material, possibly even techniques that were ahead of their time. Jade is an incredibly tough stone to work with, requiring specialized tools and a great deal of patience to carve into shape. And yet the Hash artisans were able to create masks with astonishing precision, capturing the very essence of the human face in the process. The level of skill involved suggests that these masks were not merely artistic endeavors, but were likely imbued with powerful cultural significance. But the mystery deepens when we consider the materials used to create the masks. While jade was abundant in the CH heartland of the Gulf Coast, some of the jade masks discovered in burial sites appear to have come from far-flung regions, even as far as Guatemala and the Maya land. This raises the possibility that the Mech civilization was far more connected to distant cultures than previously believed. Could these masks have been traded or exchanged across vast distances, linking the Olmec with other ancient Mesoamerican societies in ways that we are only beginning to understand? Moreover, some scholars have speculated that the faces on the jade masks may not represent actual individuals, but rather spiritual or supernatural beings. The exaggerated features, such as the wide almond-shaped eyes and large oval faces, have been interpreted by some as symbolic of gods, deities, or ancestral spirits that themes may have worshipped. These beings, imagined in the likeness of both human and divine, could have served as intermediaries between the material and the spiritual worlds. The Olmec, known for their belief in the cosmic cycle of life and death, might have created these masks as a way to communicate with the forces that governed the universe. Yet there are other theories that delve into even more mysterious terrain. Some researchers have suggested that the jade masks may have had shamanistic purposes, used in rituals to invoke or channel supernatural powers. The faces on the masks with their piercing eyes and serene expressions
may have been intended to represent the idealized form of a shamanic practitioner or a divine
intermediary capable of accessing otherworldly realms. It is also possible that the masks were used to facilitate altered states of consciousness, either through meditation or through the consumption of mind-altering substances. The Olmec was certainly familiar with the ritual use of psychoactive plants, and it is not out of the question that the masks were part of such ceremonies. Still, even with these theories in mind, the purpose and origin of the jade masks remain elusive. No definitive explanation has been found to explain why themes invested so much time, effort, and resources into creating these small, intricate artifacts. Were they simply artistic representations of deities or ancestors? Or did they hold a deeper, more mystical significance? The more we study these artifacts, the more questions seem to arise and the fewer answers we have. Furthermore, the discovery of jade masks has prompted another fascinating speculation. Did the Memek civilization possess lost knowledge? Could these intricate carvings and the materials used in their creation be part of a larger cultural or technological mystery? The fact that the Olmec were able to craft such complex and finely detailed masks without the aid of advanced technology suggests that they may have had access to tools or techniques that have since been lost to history. The Olmec civilization, as mysterious as it was powerful, left behind a wealth of artifacts, colossal heads, elaborate altars, and of course the haunting jade masks. These masks are a testament to the complexity of Memek religious and social life, and they continue to speak to us from the past, inviting us to ponder their true significance. Were they symbols of power, tools of spiritual communication, or something else entirely? The jade masks of the Mek civilization remain one of the great enigmas of ancient Mesoamerica, their true purpose and meaning still lost to time. As we reflect on these artifacts, we are left to wonder what other mysteries of the ancient world lie hidden beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered. And perhaps in the end, that is the most chilling aspect of all, the knowledge that some of history's greatest mysteries are still waiting for us to unravel them. As we continue to unearth the mysteries of the past, our journey now takes us beneath the crystal blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea, where a hidden world waits to be uncovered. Far beneath the waves, at the edge of the ancient world, lies a submerged temple, the lost temple of Poseidon, an enigma that has captivated explorers and archaeologists for centuries. Was it a grand sanctuary dedicated to the god of the sea, or a mere figment of myth? And if it was real, what secrets does it hold beneath the depths? Imagine standing on the rocky shores of the Mediterranean, the sun casting a golden hue over the sea, while a light breeze ripples the water. The world above is peaceful, but beneath the surface, in a place few have ever ventured, there lies a world frozen in time.
As you look out over the horizon, you may not be aware of the ancient ruins hidden beneath, their stories lost to the abyss.
In this part of the world where history and myth intertwine, the line between fact and legend is often difficult to discern. Yet, one legend stands out, one that has lured both the curious and the adventurous for generations. The story of Poseidon's temple. The first accounts of the sunken temple come from the ancient Greeks themselves, whose seafaring ancestors would have known the Mediterranean intimately. For centuries, sailors spoke of an island city rich with temples and grand palaces dedicated to Poseidon, the mighty god who ruled the oceans. Yet despite their vivid descriptions, the temple was thought to have disappeared long ago, swallowed by the restless sea. However, recent discoveries have forced us to reconsider these ancient tales. What if the temple truly existed? And what if it's still there, hidden beneath the waves, waiting to reveal itself? The search for Poseidon's temple can be traced back to the 19th century, when the first signs of an ancient submerged city were reported off the coast of Antitha, a small island in the Iron Sea, the most famous discovery to come from this area. The Antitha mechanism has already rewritten our understanding of ancient technology. But the waters around this island are home to even more mysteries, most notably the supposed location of Poseidon's lost temple. In the years that followed, various expeditions, including underwater archaeology teams, have scoured the seabed, searching for remnants of this elusive structure. Early reports from divers and submarine explorations have revealed large stone formations and massive blocks of granite, which some experts suggest may be part of an ancient temple complex. However, the deeper the investigation, the more questions arise and the mystery only deepens. Could this submerged city, with its massive stone structures and remnants of elaborate architecture, be the lost temple of Poseidon? Archaeologists have found evidence of ancient marble statues, inscriptions, and decorative elements similar to those associated with Greek temples dedicated to the gods, but nothing definitive. The underwater ruins appear to be at least 2,500 years old, possibly dating back to the time when the ancient Manoans and Mycenaeans flourished. But could they really be part of the fabled Temple of Poseidon? Or is there a more mundane explanation for these ruins? Perhaps an unknown city or a forgotten outpost of a once great civilization? The question of what happened to the temple remains an ongoing debate. Some believe that it was destroyed by natural forces such as earthquakes or tsunamis, which would not be surprising given the region's geological history. The Mediterranean is prone to seismic activity, and it is well known that ancient cities like Hillik and Thera were wiped off the map by powerful earthquakes, their ruins now lying at the bottom of the sea. Could the same fate have befallen Poseidon's temple? Others argue that the temple may not have been destroyed by natural disasters at all, but rather by human action. Perhaps the temple was deliberately submerged, either to protect its sanctity or as a result of political turmoil. In the world of the ancient Greeks, Poseidon was a god of both creation and destruction, and the idea of his temple disappearing beneath the sea could symbolize the power of the oceans to both build and obliterate. But what would compel a civilization to submerge such a grand structure? Was it the end of an era, the downfall of a culture? Or was it a deliberate act of ritualistic significance? Some researchers have speculated that Poseidon's temple may have been tied to a much older civilization, one that predates the Greeks themselves, possibly even the Atlantans, the fabled people described by Plato as being wiped out by a cataclysmic disaster. According to Plato's accounts, Atlantis was an advanced civilization with vast riches and a powerful navy. Many modern theorists have suggested that Atlantis could have been the origin of Greek mythology itself, with the gods, Poseidon in particular, being based on real figures from this lost civilization. Could the sunken temple be a remnant of this earlier age? One that was abandoned and buried beneath the waves long before the Greek gods took their place in the pantheon? The discovery of a submerged city could suggest that the Atlanteans or some other precursor civilization had a presence in the Mediterranean centuries before the Greeks. The potential link between Poseidon's temple and the legends of Atlantis is compelling, but there is no definitive evidence to prove this connection. The only thing we can say for certain is that something extraordinary exists beneath the sea, and it might be connected to one of the greatest myths ever told. As underwater technology continues to improve, so too does our ability to explore and document the ruins beneath the Mediterranean. In recent years, new sonar technology has allowed researchers to map out submerged cities with greater precision than ever before. These findings, while fascinating, have only added to the growing list of unsolved mysteries. The ruins near Antigua are one of the most prominent sites, but many other potential locations for Poseidon's temple exist throughout the Mediterranean, from the coast of Cyprus to the waters off Crete and beyond. What exactly lies at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea, hidden from view for millennia? Are these ruins remnants of Poseidon's grand temple, or do they belong to another ancient civilization, one that has long since disappeared? Were the gods of the Greeks and the grand temples that they were said to have inspired simply exaggerated stories, or did they actually live in places now submerged by the sea? The sunken temple of Poseidon remains one of the Mediterranean's most tantalizing mysteries, and as our understanding of the ancient world continues to evolve, new discoveries are bound to challenge our preconceptions. What lies beneath the waves waiting to be uncovered? Perhaps the answer will come in the form of a remarkable discovery that will rewrite the history of this legendary god and the people who worshipped him. Until then, the mystery remains unsolved, and the ocean continues to hold its secrets in the deep. Is the Temple of Poseidon truly out there, waiting for us to find it? And if it is, what other mysteries does it harbor beneath the surface? Only time and exploration will tell. As we transition from the depths of the Mediterranean Sea to the heart of ancient Rome, we find ourselves at the threshold of one of the most controversial and enigmatic figures in history. Emperor Caligula, known to many as a mad tyrant, his reign was a brief but tumultuous chapter in the history of the Roman Empire, leaving behind a trail of mystery, cruelty, and intrigue that has endured for nearly 2 millennia. But was he truly the unhinged desperate that history remembers? Or is there more to his story than the chaos and bloodshed that marked his rule? The Palatine Hill, once the beating heart of the Roman Empire, is where we begin our journey. From its summit, the ancient Roman city sprawls below, and the ruins of the imperial palace rise as a shadow of what was once a magnificent symbol of power and wealth. It was here, in the year 37 AD, that Caligula ascended to the throne of the Roman Empire following the death of his beloved father Germanicus. Caligula's early years had been filled with promise. He was a young man beloved by the people, a member of the royal family whose lineage held the potential to restore Rome's former glory. But shortly after assuming power, something changed. Caligula's reign, which was initially marked by optimism, swiftly descended into one of the most infamous and bizarre periods of Roman history. Ancient texts, particularly the accounts of historians like Suetonius and Tacitus, tell a tale of a ruler who was deeply paranoid, erratic, and increasingly cruel. He was said to have executed his political rivals without mercy, indulged in excesses of every kind, and committed atrocities that would forever tarnish his reputation. Seneca, a Roman philosopher and contemporary of Caligula, described him as a ruler who would demand his subjects' loyalty with extravagant displays of cruelty. He was accused of turning the Roman Senate into a shadow of itself, dismissing its members at will, and even rumored to have declared himself a living god. Caligula's reported acts of madness, such as appointing his horse Insatus as a consul, have since become part of the popular lore surrounding his reign. Such stories, however, have been handed down by sources whose reliability has often been questioned. But could the portrayal of Caligula as a mad tyrant be an oversimplification or perhaps a distortion of his true character? Historians have long debated whether Caligula's behavior was driven by mental illness, political strategy, or a combination of both. One theory posits that his actions were influenced by the traumatic years he spent under the harsh rule of Tiberius, his predecessor. After the death of his father, Caligula was forced to live in exile on the island of Capri, where he witnessed the corruption and decadence of Tiberius's court. Some suggest that the isolation and psychological scars from these years may have shaped his later behavior, leading him to embrace his newfound power with reckless abandon. But was it only personal trauma that shaped his reign? The political climate of Rome at the time was fraught with tension as the empire teetered between autocracy and republican ideals. Caligula inherited a divided empire, and many of his actions, however erratic, were aimed at consolidating power and asserting his authority. He was a ruler in an empire that was already ruled by men of power and influence, men who viewed Caligula's rise with deep suspicion. In the face of such opposition, was Caligula's cruelty simply a reflection of his survival instinct, a means to defend himself against the numerous threats to his life and rule? The most famous and chilling accounts of Caligula's reign are the bloody purges, the executions of political rivals, and his violent outbursts. Yet there are other aspects of his rule that remain perplexing. Caligula was known to have pursued a series of ambitious building projects, including the construction of a massive floating palace on the Bay of Naples, a testament to his grandeur and megalomania. But was this part of his insanity or a calculated effort to establish an enduring legacy? Some modern scholars suggest that his extravagant projects may have been part of a larger plan to modernize Rome's infrastructure, creating a physical manifestation of his power. Yet, his actions are often framed within the context of his increasing megalomania, fueling the narrative of a ruler gone mad. While the ancient texts depict a ruler disconnected from reality, there are other aspects of Caligula's reign that do not fit neatly into this mold. For example, his initial popularity among the people of Rome has been noted by historians. Upon his ascension to the throne, he was greeted with joy and optimism, seen by many as a breath of fresh air after the oppressive reign of Tiberius. His early actions, such as remitting taxes and distributing bonuses to the Roman legions, were intended to win the loyalty of the people and the army. For a brief time, Caligula was praised as a benevolent ruler who would restore Rome's greatness. How then did this promising start turn into the nightmare that followed? Moreover, some of Caligula's more bizarre actions, such as his reported attempts to raise his horse to the rank of consul, may have had a symbolic, even political purpose. Caligula's appointment of Insatus as a consul has been viewed by some as a gesture of absolute control over the Senate, a means to demonstrate his unchecked authority and to humiliate the ruling elite. By placing his horse, a creature considered beneath human dignity at the highest level of Roman political office, Caligula may have been sending a message to his enemies. No one was beyond his reach, not even the most sacred traditions of Roman governance. Yet, there is still much we do not know about Caligula's character. Did he truly believe himself to be a god, as some accounts suggest? Or was this part of his calculated strategy to solidify his power and intimidate his enemies? Was his infamous cruelty merely a tool of control? Or did it stem from an uncontrollable desire for vengeance and power? Some speculate that his actions were not madness at all, but rather a product of the political landscape in which he found himself, ruthlessly fighting to hold on to an empire on the brink of collapse. After just 4 years on the throne, Caligula's reign came to a brutal end when he was assassinated by members of his own Taurian guard. His death left Rome in a state of chaos, but it also ensured that the mystery of his life and legacy would remain unresolved. Was he a mad tyrant driven by a thirst for power? Or was he a ruler misunderstood and manipulated by the court? And what of his vision for Rome and the empire he hoped to create? As historians continue to sift through the ancient texts interpreting the signs and symbols of Caligula's rule, one thing remains certain. The true nature of his reign is as elusive as ever. Was he a deranged ruler? Or was he simply a product of his time, trapped in the labyrinth of Roman politics, struggling to assert control over a volatile empire? The more we look, the more questions arise. But Caligula's truth may forever remain hidden behind the veil of ancient history, and the legacy of the mad emperor may only be fully understood when we too step into the shadows of the past. As we journey through the winding corridors of history, our path leads us to one of the most fascinating and eerie locations in the world, the catacombs of Paris. Beneath the bustling streets of the French capital, a hidden underground world lies in wait, filled with secrets, treasures, and stories of forgotten souls. For centuries, this vast network of tunnels lined with the bones of millions has been a place of both awe and fear. But within these darkened depths, is there more than meets the eye? Could there be hidden treasures, lost secrets, or a deeper mystery waiting to be uncovered? Imagine stepping into the darkness of the catacombs, the air cool and heavy with the scent of earth. The ground beneath your feet is uneven, and the walls lined with human bones stretch far into the distance. These bones, carefully arranged in macabre formations, form the backdrop to an intricate, often terrifying landscape that few have seen. This underground necropolis was not originally intended to house the dead. In the late 18th century, Paris faced a grave crisis. The city's cemeteries, overcrowded and decaying, were becoming a public health hazard. In response, the authorities decided to transfer the bones of the deceased to a series of abandoned quarries beneath the city, creating the Catacombs of Paris, a vast underground houri. But what began as a pragmatic solution to a pressing problem soon became a source of legend and mystery. Stretching for miles beneath the streets of Paris, the catacombs are not only home to human remains, but also to countless hidden treasures and unsolved riddles. Over the years, a steady stream of urban explorers, cryptographers, and even thrill-seekers have ventured into the catacombs, drawn by the allure of these underground corridors and the stories they hold. Some come seeking historical knowledge. Others come with an almost supernatural curiosity, hoping to unlock the mysteries hidden within. The bones themselves are a poignant reminder of the long history of Paris. But beyond the human remains, there are whispers of treasures and secrets buried deep within the tunnels. Some claim that long-lost artifacts from ancient Parisian societies lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. Others speculate about the hidden chambers within the catacombs that have yet to be discovered by modern explorers. Are these the remnants of long-lost secrets? Could they be connected to ancient royal treasure or even objects of mystical significance? For centuries, the catacombs have remained largely unexplored, and even today, a significant portion of the labyrinth remains closed to the public, shrouded in mystery. One of the most intriguing elements of the catacombs is the series of inscriptions left behind by those who pass through these tunnels. These markings, often cryptic and carved into the walls, suggest that the catacombs were not only a resting place for the dead, but also a place of rituals, secret societies, and hidden meaning. Some of these inscriptions are said to be the work of the Freemasons, whose influence in Paris during the 18th and 19th centuries was significant. There are those who argue that these markings may point to a secret history, a hidden chapter of Parisian life that has yet to be fully understood. But there is more than just graffiti and bones beneath the streets of Paris. As we delve deeper into the history of the catacombs, we encounter another mystery: the legend of the lost treasure of the French Revolution. According to some accounts, during the tumult of the Revolution, a treasure was hidden in the catacombs, its location known only to a select few. Could these lost riches be buried somewhere within the tunnels, just waiting to be discovered? Or are these rumors nothing more than an illusion created over time by the mystique of the catacombs themselves? Historians have long debated the truth behind these rumors. There are those who believe that a cache of gold and precious artifacts was indeed hidden beneath the city during the Revolution. This would have been a logical move during a time of political instability, as wealth would have needed to be concealed from both the revolutionaries and those loyal to the monarchy. But after more than 200 years, the truth of this treasure remains elusive. Despite numerous expeditions into the catacombs by archaeologists and treasure hunters, no conclusive evidence
has ever been found to suggest that the treasure
exists. Adding to the intrigue of the catacombs is the mysterious disappearance of several explorers who have ventured too far into the maze-like tunnels. Some have ventured into the depths of the catacombs and were never seen again, their fates remaining unknown. The Paris police have occasionally been called to search for missing persons. Yet these search parties often fail to locate the missing explorers. Could these disappearances be the result of accidental deaths or getting lost in the labyrinth? Or is there something more sinister at play in the dark recesses of the catacombs? Some even claim that the catacombs are haunted, home to ancient spirits that guard the hidden treasures, keeping them out of reach for all eternity. Perhaps the most unsettling mystery of all is the fact that portions of the catacombs remain off-limits to the public and even to modern explorers. Only a small section of the catacombs is open for tours, and the rest is sealed behind locked gates, patrolled by security and police officers. What lies beyond the areas we are permitted to see? Could there be hidden chambers untouched for centuries that could reveal the true history of Paris and its inhabitants? Or could there be something darker lurking, secrets that the authorities would rather remain buried? There are those who believe that the catacombs were designed with a hidden purpose, perhaps not just as an oery, but as something far more significant. Some speculate that they were used for ritualistic purposes and may even be connected to ancient occult practices. In fact, the mysterious symbols found within the catacombs, some of which resemble those of the Freemasons and other secret societies, raise questions about the true nature of these underground tunnels. Were they simply a burial place, or were they the site of ancient rites, lost knowledge,
and the protection of sacred secrets?
The catacombs, once a practical solution to the city's overcrowded cemeteries, have evolved into something far more, a symbol of Paris's buried history, filled with not just bones, but unanswered questions. As we delve deeper into their shadows, the mystery only grows, and with each turn in the labyrinth, we find ourselves further from the answers. Are the catacombs merely a reflection of the past, or do they still hold secrets waiting to be uncovered? The question remains, what is still hidden beneath the streets of Paris, buried in the catacombs, waiting to reveal itself? Will the truth of the lost treasures, hidden rituals, and unexplained disappearances ever come to light? Or are the catacombs destined to remain a place of mystery, their secrets locked away for eternity? As we continue our exploration of history's most captivating mysteries, our journey takes us to the heart of Bosnia and Herzegovina, a country known for its ancient landscapes and historical significance. Here, nestled within the uneven hills and thick forests of the Visoga mountain, lies a complex of pyramidal structures that has sparked controversy and debate among archaeologists, historians and theorists alike. These are the so-called pyramids of Bosnia, an enigmatic discovery that has captivated the imagination of many. But what are these structures really? Are they remnants of a forgotten civilization? Or is there something more mysterious at play? The Visacia mountain, towering over the small town of Visoko, has long been a place of interest to historians. In 2005, the world's attention was drawn to the area when local businessman and amateur archaeologist Samir Osmanagic announced the discovery of what he believed to be the largest pyramid complex on Earth. According to Osmanagic, the structures were not natural rock formations, but man-made pyramids hidden beneath the earth for millennia. The revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community, igniting a firestorm of both support and skepticism. The pyramid-like shapes, which rise from the mountain in distinct geometrical formations, are, according to Osmanag and his team, a massive construction project dating back thousands of years, perhaps even to a lost civilization.
Far older than those traditionally recognized by
history. They are described as highly geometrically precise structures with features that some believe suggest an advanced understanding of engineering, astronomy, and acoustics. But before we delve deeper into the theories, let's consider the site itself. Upon first glance, the Bosnian pyramids appear to be a series of steep, triangular peaks resembling the shapes of pyramids that we are familiar with from ancient Egypt or Mesoamerica. The mountain's summit shows clear signs of terraces, stone blocks and geometric patterns, Features that Osmanag claims are the results of human intervention rather than natural geological processes. Some of the blocks, he asserts, are cut with precision that challenges our understanding of ancient technologies. Could it be possible that these structures were constructed as far back as 12,000 years ago, long before the advent of recognized ancient civilizations? The theory suggests that the pyramids might predate even the Great Pyramids of Giza, reshaping our understanding of ancient history. But mainstream archaeology is skeptical. Many experts point to the natural formation of the mountain and suggest that the so-called pyramids are simply the result of erosion, a process over millions of years. They argue that there is no solid evidence to support the claim of an ancient pyramid complex, and that Osmanagic's findings are based more on speculation than scientific rigor. Critics also argue that the lack of artifacts, inscriptions, or definitive proof raises questions about the credibility of the claims. Yet, despite the criticism, the fascination with the Bosnian pyramids has only grown, fueled by the intriguing mystery of their existence. What is it about these pyramids that continues to attract attention? The truth is, the site itself is shrouded in mystery. Excavations and investigations have uncovered what appear to be ancient tunnels and subterranean passageways stretching deep beneath the earth. These tunnels, some of which seem to radiate strange electromagnetic energy, have drawn comparisons to similar structures found in ancient civilizations across the world. Could these tunnels be the remnants of a forgotten civilization, one that possessed knowledge lost to time? Or are they just a natural formation misinterpreted by eager explorers? Further adding to the mystery are claims about the pyramids' energy properties. Some theorists suggest that the Bosnian pyramids may have been constructed with an advanced understanding of geomagnetism and acoustics, potentially capable of harnessing energy in ways that modern science has yet to fully understand. Stories have circulated about strange phenomena around the pyramids, such as unusual changes in soil composition, inexplicable radio frequencies, and even reported feelings of altered consciousness in those who visit the site. Could this be evidence of ancient technologies lost to history, but somehow encoded in the architecture of the pyramids? There are also theories that the pyramids were built for ritualistic or spiritual purposes. Some believe that these structures may have been designed to align with astronomical events, much like the pyramids of Egypt or the structures of Mesoamerican cultures. The alignment of the Bosnian pyramids with the solstices and equinoxes suggests that their builders might have had an intimate understanding of the cosmos. Could these pyramids have been part of an ancient network of sacred sites used for ceremonies or rituals that have since been forgotten? Interestingly, there are mysterious artifacts that have been found in the vicinity of the pyramids. Some of these artifacts, including strange stones and carvings, do not appear to fit within the known historical timeline of the region. They suggest the possibility of an ancient civilization far more advanced than previously believed to have existed in the area. Could these artifacts point to a civilization that had been forgotten by time? Or are they simply the result of later constructions or natural forces misinterpreted by eager investigators? The story of the Bosnian pyramids is not just about stones and earth. It is also about the mystique that surrounds the site. There are countless stories of people visiting the pyramids and feeling a strange energy or experiencing mysterious phenomena that they cannot explain. Some claim to have encountered visions, unexplained sounds, or even ghostly apparitions while exploring the tunnels and passageways. What could account for these experiences? Are they the result of natural acoustics? Or do they point to something more profound, something that science has yet to uncover? Despite the mystery, there are also those who have set out to disprove the existence of the pyramids altogether. In 2010, the Bosnian government issued a statement distancing itself from Osmanagic's claims, stating that the pyramids were not part of any official archaeological project. These statements have fueled the debate, as critics argue that the government is attempting to suppress findings that could rewrite history. Others, however, believe that Osmanag has been too eager to claim sensational discoveries without proper scientific support, putting the entire investigation under a cloud of suspicion. In the years following the initial discoveries, the Bosnian pyramids have continued to attract global interest, with thousands of visitors traveling to Visoko each year to see the pyramids for themselves. Despite the ongoing debate, the site has become a hub for alternative archaeology, with tours, conferences, and research projects dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of the area. But the question remains, what is the truth behind the Bosnian pyramids? Are they truly the remnants of an ancient civilization, or are they nothing more than natural rock formations shaped by time and weather?
And if they are man-made, what purpose did they serve?
And who were the people who built them? Were they part of a larger network of pyramids scattered across the globe, built by an ancient civilization with knowledge lost to time? Or are they something entirely different, a mystery still waiting to be uncovered? As we look at the Bosnian pyramids, one thing is certain: the mystery has not been solved, and the questions surrounding the site remain unanswered. Will we ever discover the truth about the shifting pyramids of Bosnia? Or are they destined to remain one of the world's most enduring historical enigmas, an ancient riddle whose secrets may never be fully revealed? As we journey further into the depths of history's most perplexing enigmas, we find ourselves in a remote corner of China, a place where the lines between natural wonder and human craftsmanship blur into an almost inexplicable mystery. It is here, at the foot of the towering Bong Mountains, that one of the most baffling archaeological discoveries awaits. The Bagong Pipes, hidden deep within a cave system near Mount Bong and close to the Dolong Tan Salt Lake. These pipes have been the subject of intense debate ever since their discovery in the 1990s. Are they evidence of an ancient technology, or just another case of natural formations being mistaken for man-made structures? The mystery surrounding the Bong Pipes is one that challenges everything we know about ancient civilizations. The Bagong Pipes themselves are found in a cave in the heart of the Bong Mountains. There, nestled between the rocks, lie hundreds of rusted metal tubes, many embedded into the walls of the cave, some extending outward into the ground. These pipes vary in size, with some as thick as a man's arm, while others are narrow and slender, seemingly woven into the very fabric of the rock. They appear to have been crafted with deliberate precision, yet their age and origins are far from clear. How could pipes, apparently made of metal, have remained hidden for so long in such a remote and rugged location? And more intriguingly, how could these pipes, which seem to date back thousands of years, be the work of a civilization far more advanced than any known in the region? The first reports of the Bagong Pipes surfaced in the 1990s, when a team of Chinese archaeologists led by Professor Yang Wei ventured into the caves near the Dongan Salt Lake and made the astonishing discovery. The pipes were scattered throughout the cave system, some penetrating deep into the mountain, others seemingly just lying beneath the surface. What struck the archaeologists most was the material composition of these pipes. While many of the tubes showed signs of rust, others appeared to be made of a strange combination of metals which suggested they were man-made. But there was no record of any ancient civilization in the area capable of producing such intricate metal work. It was as if the pipes didn't belong in the context of ancient China. The mainstream explanation offered by the scientific community is that the pipes are simply natural formations, tubes formed through the erosion of rock and sediment over time. The argument suggests that the metal-like appearance of the pipes could be the result of mineral deposits that have accumulated over millennia, creating the illusion of man-made pipes. According to this theory, the pipes are a geological phenomenon shaped by the forces of nature and nothing more. However, there are several key points that make this explanation less than satisfying. For one, the pipes do not follow the typical patterns of erosion that we see in natural rock formations. Many of the tubes are straight and evenly shaped features that suggest purposeful design rather than random geological forces. The pipes appear to have been manufactured with clear signs of metalworking techniques that would have been advanced for their time. Additionally, the pipes are often found in specific patterns, appearing as though they were part of a much larger structure. Why would such a structure exist in such a remote and desolate location, far from any known ancient settlement?
Adding to the mystery are the numerous metal fragments found near the pipes.
Fragments that appear to be part of the same metal alloy. Some researchers have suggested that these fragments could be remnants of machinery, possibly engines or devices that once worked in tandem with the pipes. But what kind of civilization could have built such complex structures? And why would they choose such an isolated location for their construction? If the pipes were part of some sort of industrial complex, who would have used them? And for what purpose? One of the most puzzling aspects of the bong pipes is their age. The caves where they are found show signs of wear and erosion, but no conclusive evidence has been uncovered to indicate that these pipes were crafted by any civilization known to history. Some have suggested that they may be the remnants of a lost culture, one that predated even the earliest Chinese dynasties. If this theory holds any weight, it would mean that the Bagong pipes could be evidence of a much older civilization than we currently recognize, a civilization capable of advanced engineering and technology far beyond the scope of their time. But if the pipes are indeed evidence of an ancient technology, then the question becomes even more complex. Who built them, and why? Were they part of a larger, more advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago and has since vanished from the historical record? Or are they the remnants of an entirely different, unknown culture? Could these pipes have been part of an ancient energy system or water delivery system functioning in a way that modern technology has yet to understand? It is tempting to imagine that these pipes were not mere tubes, but part of a much larger and more sophisticated network, perhaps used for a purpose that remains mysterious and lost to time. Some fringe theories go even further, suggesting that the pipes may have had an extraterrestrial connection. These theories point to the sheer complexity and precision of the pipes, arguing that they could have been created by a civilization far more advanced than any known on Earth. The Thimson alien hypothesis suggests that the pipes may be evidence of
Contact between Earth and an alien.
civilization, with the tubes serving some unknown purpose that humanity has yet to comprehend. Could the pipes have been part of a larger system used by an extraterrestrial race to communicate, transport energy, or conduct experiments? While such ideas remain highly speculative, the unexplained nature of the bygone pipes certainly leaves room for such theories to take root in the minds of the curious. As we investigate further, there are still many questions that remain unanswered. Why were the pipes buried so deep within the caves, away from any known civilization?
How were they constructed and by whom?
If the pipes are indeed of ancient origin, how could such advanced technology exist long before the rise of known civilizations? Or, as some skeptics argue, are the pipes simply the product of geological processes that have been misinterpreted as man-made structures? The bygone pipes, as mysterious as they are, continue to intrigue both mainstream scientists and alternative theorists alike. While some explanations offer plausible answers, none can fully account for the precision, the material, and the placement of these pipes. And so the question remains, what is the true story behind the bong pipes? Are they relics of an ancient civilization, the product of natural forces, or something far more extraordinary? For now, the mystery endures, leaving us to wonder what secrets still lie buried beneath the earth, and whether we will ever uncover the truth of this enigmatic discovery.